All right, we are live, and man, what an Only Crons episode do we have tonight. It is safe to say we have not been this hyped about Necrons probably since Star Shatter Arsenal came out, pre-nerf, of course, but obviously everybody's so excited because this is obviously the first time that we have had all 5 Necron gens in one podcast together, so you already know it's going to be a good one. If you're already here, seriously appreciate you. I know there's going to be a lot joining in as the night unfolds. So if it's in the morning, it's in the evening, in the afternoon, appreciate you tuning in. And what we're going to be talking about today is we're going to be going over lists. So I got the app pulled up here. We're going to be going round robin, going through each different detachment and talking about why we're building the list as it is. So there's going to be so much freaking value in this episode tonight. But first, we're just going to be doing our initial thoughts of what we think of the meta, the Necrons, and at the end, of course, we're going to be doing viewer questions and answering all that good stuff. So please stick around, hang out, grab a beverage, grab a snack. Let's do this. Fellas, how we doing?
Amazing.
Doing good.
Because as Steven was saying, we're still in Satyr, right?
Satyr.
Yeah, we're still in Satyr. Right, Daniel?
I don't like the Catan.
Dude, Daniel's speechless right now. Daniel, I let you. We started like 5 minutes late just so you could go get your Coke, man.
I told the chat that I was getting my makeup on.
That's a soda, by the way.
Oh yeah, that's true. It's not a pop. It's not a pop. It's a soda. You know.
One of my really good buddies when I was in the Navy, I used to ride helicopters for one of my full commands, and every time we'd like. That's where I started calling it Sodies. It was like, I don't even know where he was from. He just called it Sodi. And like whenever I met his family called it Sodi. It was just like, I don't know. So now I call it Sodi. My wife thinks I'm stupid. But she thought I was dumb before that too, though. So.
I mean,
well,
right,
boys,
so the question is it 1 Satan, 2 Satan, 3 Satan, 4 Satan more? Where are we at?
We're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that. Let's just maybe we just talk about. Let's just keep it real basic to start because we got so much stuff to talk about. I mean, Borderline, we basically just got a new codex, basically. Okay.
Yep.
So let's talk about freaking Nekrosor NA himself. All right. Nektar. First off, is he gonna keep his Feel No Pain, or is it gonna disappear?
I think he keeps it.
I think the Feel No Pain sticks because they've already done some updates and the updates
didn't
correct it. So.
No, you're good. I'm gonna put up a poll in the chat right now. Does he deserve the Feel No Pain or does he not at 165?
I could see that. Like honestly, like I as much as I would enjoy.
That makes him.
Yeah.
I don't think it would be for the aura of Sustained. I think it would be for the aura of the Feel No Pain, right? Where it's like only the destroyers gets the Feel No Pain of stuff. Because if that was the deal, then they would have just made it because it is already Destroyer Cult, right? But then it gives that caveat or friendly models if it's the closest eligible target. So yeah, I think
right now he's pretty good at 165. Like, if he keeps the 5-up Feel No Pain,
yeah,
give him to me for free.
Might as well.
Yeah, no, I hope he keeps the Feel No Pain. In part because I mean we can get into it more later, but like just the idea that it makes him that much also like it just makes him so good and Awakened as well. And so, and it makes them more palatable and everything else.
Oh, they can't hear you, Steven.
Oh yeah, I realized that I muted my mic because I was my keyboard's loud. And
wait, they said purple shirt. Is that a purple shirt? Do our chat have color blindness?
Man, that's a purple shirt.
I wrote it. No, we can hear you. We can hear you at least.
Yeah, no, I was I had muted it for a second.
Should I put the hoodie on in honor of like Nightbringer?
Yeah, Nightbringer 315. A steal, a bargain.
Maybe.
But we have a hot take that we might think that it still might not be worth it. It still might be worth it because the deceiver might be taking his light a little bit.
I think the fact that the deceiver is still on the 40 mil base, and then with the new buffs that he got with Deep Strike, it makes him very. I mean, and he's now a very competent close combat guy, where before he wasn't that great. But man, that 40 mil base is really you can't really sleep on that.
I think in a competitive mindset, if your opponent messes up one time and lets you rapid ingress or deep strike that deceiver behind his deployment zone, or in his deployment zone, like behind like his objective marker, it's just game, right? Like it's like a lot of armies are either needing them push forward or whatever, or they need to like shoot threats. And so if all of a sudden you have this stealth Catan that's 16 wounds sitting behind you, that's like either you shoot me or I take your home for like forever. You probably just live. I don't. A lot of good players won't let that happen, right? Obviously, but it's one of those things where it's like it's such a small base. So either your opponent screens out or he spends. It's kind of like Hypercrypt again, right? Where your opponent would spend another hour and 15-minute clock, like 45 minutes, making sure you can't fit a monolith within 6 inches. It's gonna be that kind of.
And still fail it over you.
Yeah, I think also too. Like, I mean, just having Deep Strike makes it so much harder to screen him just everywhere too. Because like, even if he comes in front of you, it's not a bad option.
And you might do that. You might
so they're saying, they're saying Steven, they can't hear you. I don't know, but like
we have two.
They said very handsome individual with the parted haircut.
Oh,
I summarized it.
That's
Yeah, we
the
can hear him.
That's all
His
right. I'm just kidding.
Actually, hold on. Let me double check something here. There might be.
Well, Kylan fixes all that.
Yeah, you guys keep talking. I think I might know what it might be.
At the end of the day, right? Like, so I think that, and we're gonna get into it, right? I think a lot of people are just really excited about having new toys, right? And like, their old toys that they can still use got a little bit better, right? So like, a lot of people are excited about that. However, I think that excitement is going to do one of two things, right? One, it's going to make people build for it, or they're just going to kill it anyways. Or two, it's not going to be as good as we thought it was, because now like they all did go up in points, and then it's like I'm seeing a trend where everyone doesn't want to just run one or none; they want to run like 4 or 3, right? Where it's like, well, now you're like half your list is in Catans, where beforehand if it was half damage attacks, like you're good, but now it's like you get shot by las cannons. Like if you go to Dark Order with all those lancers, right, or lance shots or whatever, or the what's their bird things, the scourge, they're gonna kill the Catan once a turn, and then it's like, well, that's 300 points of your list. So
Well, yeah, but again, so I guess we'll have to wait to the detachment thing, because there is a certain detachment that requires several Catan that I can't wait to talk about.
This is true, Steven. We lost your video feed.
Yeah, it's because I'm pulling up my. Are you talking to me?
Yeah.
I'm pulling up my list just so I can I can go
for
over
like
it.
Steven and other Steven, it needs to be like headband and part of
Ross and Rhoda.
No,
That works.
Yeah.
I'm also Wigan. I go by Wigan, so.
Yeah.
They said they can hear you now, but we can't see your face.
Oh, thanks, guys. Hi. I'm the ugly guy with the parted haircut.
No, they didn't say that. They said handsome guy.
Yeah, that's perfect. Okay, now I fixed it. We fixed it live. It's perfect. We can hear him now. We'll shoot.
Catan are amazing.
What detachment are we all like the most hyped about, would you say? Now.
Like personally, or like in the meta?
Let's go personally first. Round robin.
Who do you want to start with?
Oh, Daniel at the top here. Daniel. Go ahead, sir.
Well,
Don't
I
say
think
it.
Awakened
Don't.
was king. Huh?
You're not supposed to say Awaken. You're supposed to say something else, man.
What you want me to lie?
No.
Oh no!
All right, guys. I really like. No, I can't do that. Like the original Destroyer cult is actually way better than the Curse Legion. No, like Awaken. At the end of the day, right? Illuminor was already like a toxic end friendships model where like your buddies play you in a nice fun game. They go and they finally kill Illuminor and you bring them back to life and you crush their hopes and dreams, right?
Yeah.
Now you got 2 of them. But then you had like a Scorpec Lord with a 4 Final Pain, and then you got 3 of them. So like why bring a Catan when you already got 3 little tiny Catans that can just they don't hit as hard, but like they come back to life. You know what doesn't come back to life? The Nightbringer or the Deceiver when it gets shot by Meltas.
It's true.
Make it 4-ups.
Awaken. For me, it's Awaken. And the Warrior Brick, because, you know, I'm a nerd.
Fair. I respect it. Euless?
Yeah, I'm still thinking I'm liking the Star Shatter. Like I said, I had a good thing working. I was kind of running Nightbringer before he got cool, and I was making the 6-inch move work. So now it's just like, okay, I mean the 10-inch compensates for the base size in my opinion. So I'm still kind of leaning towards the Star Shatter train.
I respect you, man. I'm trying to figure out a list, man. I'm really trying. I hear sus on the Silent King and DDAs, man. It's got me thinking.
Well, I mean, I'm looking at a list maybe that maybe doesn't have the triple DDAs, which feels a little bit weird pulling away from that to try and fit in our Necrosor, but we'll see.
I like it. What about you, Steven?
Which Steven? Me?
Rhoda. Sure. Yeah.
So obviously, so from a competitive standpoint, I'm gonna have to agree with Daniel in the Awakened category with the Warrior Brick. But allying in Catan to that definitely helps some of our melee threats because just the durability. Most melee damage armies are 1, 2, and 3, and they have volume of fire. The Nightbringer statistically has proven to go up in defensive profile against those, or any Catan for that matter, just going from DR1, 3-up save, 16 wounds, now saves better and is more durable against those 1 damage, 2 damage, 3 damage high volume armies. So I think that while Awakened and the Warrior Brick is the move, I think that one of the better counters to one of our problem childs, which is those high speed melee armies, is going to be the Catan in a lot of cases. It's going to be a stat check for most of your opponents. My personal favorite, the one that I'm going to be running over the next 6 to 9 months, is going to be POW, or the something
Pantheon
of
of
Woe,
Woe.
Pantheon of Woe. Sorry, Pantheon of Woe. I like Catan. I think I'm going to be between that one and a Hypercrypt Monster Mash. I think that there is now tech behind, because now they all have Deep Strike. I think Hypercrypt Monster Mash has a potential. You can Cosmic Precision the King. You give him the aura that he has never taken before in most cases, which is the +1 to Strength, reroll charges. And you drop 4 Catan on them turn 1 with Deep Strike, and you Cosmic Precision the King. You reroll all those charges, and you put at least 2 of those statistically Catan right into them. That's turn 1 or turn 2. And then obviously with Pantheon of Woe, the advance in charge on the Nightbringer is crazy tech. And I just like both of them. They're really easy to get into in this. If you're 3D printing your Transcendence, it's like a very, very cheap army that is, in my opinion, relatively competitive at the same time. So very easy army to get into as well.
Wait, you're saying I didn't have to buy 3 volts?
No.
Damn it.
No, you actually had to buy
really
6 volts to get all of them.
You had to get 1 Tesseract Vault and 1 Corn Lord of Skulls.
That's where I messed up. I bought 3 volts, but I built them all into obelisks, and now I'm stuck with the.
Wait. Obelisks -2 move, and they do like to fly units. What are fly units? Catan. Oh, we just figured it out, dude. We've solved the meta because Catan now move 4 inches more. So if we -2 to move them with obelisks, and then we also take the Geomancer, who -2s to move them again.
No,
now they're only moving 6. Boom.
I'm pretty sure obelisk.
Back to normal.
Isn't obelisk
back to normal movement? Let's go.
Oh yeah, no, obelisk halves them. So
Yeah,
obelisk would be 5. They'd move moving 3. Imagine if they were 3-inch moving Catan. No,
I'm not teching for Catan. I'm not teching for Catan.
I might bring a obelisk though. Like now I'm onto it. But I was just thinking, like, just while you guys are talking, just to not pick also Star Shatter. I think my favorite lists have all come out with Star Shatter, but interesting is Obeisance Phalanx, because stacking the -1 damage profile is seems like an interesting thing to do. You can just put the -1 damage wherever you want instead of Star Shatter. You're having to kind of plan it out. Usually you can just put it on the king and turn your brain off most games. But the king can actually use the crit 5s. So the crits. So now the king's actually sus crit 5s in shooting with Ammentar if you pop him in there, and that's actually kind of interesting.
You were right.
Also,
has the move and charge, so
he's also +1 to wound in that detachment. So now he's wounding everything on 2/3 rolling ones.
Hey, Daniel, can you say that again so I can record it?
I said that.
Yeah.
Whatever.
So that I think is actually really interesting, because you already kind of wanted to take him in that detachment. But I do think I ran 5 games on Wednesday when it came out. Anywhere between
just a casual 5 games, guys. No big deal.
Yeah, and I firmly came to the conclusion that 3 Catan and Awakened, it was all Awakened. So you're so loud, Daniel.
Dude, I don't know what is going on with this one. Hold on. I'm gonna.
You said, wait, could you hear me typing?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what's going on. It's not picking up through my mic.
What?
It's picking up.
Oh, you set it up through your computer? Okay. So we figured it out.
Because I have my mic muted.
Oh. There we go. That's probably been all of your problems. Now I don't think we can hear you at all.
We need your mic, man.
Oh,
you might have it too quiet. All right. But what I was finding is I didn't have enough stuff. Now, most of the time that didn't matter, because I had a game against my buddy where I had my Reanimator was holding an objective. He charged it with 3 Sanguinary Guard. Reanimator lived with 2 wounds, as it does, because Sanguinary Guard can't kill a Reanimator. What are we doing? So the next time he charged him with the Sanguinary Guard, he used the +1 AP. Then he got it. That time he did get it. But I did find that it was just real easy for people to get in behind. And if you turn around a Catan and run backwards, that's basically the same as a Catan dying. Now, on a game like Lynchpin or something like that, that's not a problem to just kind of leave. If you have 3 of them, if you can hold 3 objectives with 3 Catan, then that's fine. But you're not really denying points. Like I like to do, at least. So that's something that in my playstyle, I'm always kind of thinking of the avenues to micro out those points. Maybe if I, cut it down. But I think, we were talking about this before, that it feels like anything more than 2 is really greedy. And even then 2 might be greedy, just because we have to make room for Ammentar because he's so good. And I still really love Xeris. And I also like what Xeris does with his lone op and the whole rope-a-dope where he has to pull people into you.
I was talking to Daniel earlier today. Idea of if you put a Discord with
Daniel
nearby. If you put a Luminor
Test.
We can hear you.
Hi, Daniel.
But what do you do to counter that?
Did that fix it?
Yeah.
I'm sorry for ruining PNW 40K's podcast. I am an idiot. I'll tell you what. For punishment, I will not run Necrons for the next 2 months.
He's a cowboy.
If you guys don't know,
he has to chug his Coca-Cola.
We're playing. Me and Daniel.
I'm fat enough. You don't need that.
We're doing a team event, and Daniel's giving me the Necron reins for the next month and a half or so.
Yeah, I'm a man of the people.
Yeah,
I love Ulyss, and I'm very happy. Very happy he's flying out to Tampa. I know I wear a Portland shirt. I'm from Vancouver, Washington. Shout out. And Ulyss is one of the boys. He's flying out to Tampa to come with us to hopefully beat up on Steven Rhoda's team.
No,
don't do it.
Not with my own army.
Don't do it. Yeah, I mean, I guess for me, I definitely
we pair into each other, Ulyss. You and me, buddy.
That would be actually really funny, dude.
I'm definitely most hyped to play. I mean, I have a big team tournament coming up next month, which I'm super excited about. But I think after that, Cursed Legion, it is a blast to play. I think there's definitely a lot unexplored there. Better than I thought. Just a very different way to play Necrons. It almost feels like you're playing a World Eater army in a weird way that's just way more durable with Catan. Definitely has its problems, which I'll talk about. We're doing like a round robin list where I don't see how you fix it fully, but we're here to talk about that. So, I don't know if there's any other like initial thoughts you guys have before maybe going like round robin into some lists or.
I see. Well, I'm reading Scott's comment about the Lich Guard. Khan's gonna hit it in his list, but there's one mechanic that I think could be very useful in a lot of games with the Lich Guard. Right? I think that's what you have in your list, Kylan.
Yeah, like I would say. I mean, Lich Guard are mandatory. Like that's like auto include.
They're just like the best like holders of your own expansion, right?
Well,
no, you can just. I think
Okay.
the play style is you kind of let them hold turn one. And then depending on what they give you, I mean, you just kind of just yeet them forward.
And you yeet launch. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
no,
mean,
we have different mindsets.
It's kind of like a jail type army for sure.
Are you talking about in Cursed Legion, Lich Guard are mandatory?
Yeah.
Yeah, I am
okay.
saying you put like the Overlord with the Translocation Shroud on the Lich Guard brick,
Right.
and you give them the curse, the Destroyer Cult thing.
Right.
Yeah.
So they're 25-inch threat range. Very
Well,
good.
rapid ingress them, because now you can put them. The problem with putting them on the board is like I probably wouldn't run the shields because it's like I want them to go kill one main thing, right? Like if everybody has like that one big bad boogeyman, I want them to go kill that one big bad. I don't want them to get shot.
What if that big bad boogeyman has -1 damage? Not that many things have that, but what if it
That's
does?
why I bring the Scythe, because the Scythe have 3 damage, and then if you have a Mentar nearby, now you're gonna sustain.
They're 3 damage now?
They're 2 damage. They're 2 damage.
The Scythe?
Yeah.
They have
Never mind.
dev wounds, but
And there's they have dev. But
It's one of those things though. It's like Catans and like I guess Berserkers would be a bad thing because
I still wish Lich Guard would let you have some shields and some scythes, but
that'd be kind of cool.
Never mind, I changed my mind. Lich Guards suck. I'm just kidding.
Come on out.
Nah, it's just swords and shields is the option.
And it
all
goes
right,
from 3 attacks down to 2.
we lost Steven's video feed, but he'll maybe.
Sorry, I'm just going over my Pantheon of Woe list.
Oh, okay,
I'm
you're good.
back.
All right. Well, let's start since Daniel's in the top left-hand corner. Let's start with him first here, man. You can see the app, right?
Yeah.
I can just look at my list.
You guys can see this.
Oh, on your screen, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. God, look at all these detachments we have. God, look at all these options.
Good
Before we start into this, can we just mention something real quick?
Of course.
Cursed Legion, right? Cursed
Yeah.
Legion, all based on what kind of models, guys?
Destroyers.
Destroyers, baby.
Right. And
was
right,
like
destroyers, right? Destroyers. Now, what is the picture that Killen is currently showing us right now? What are the models that are shown in that awesome Cursed Legion detachment when right there, right now?
Blade ones.
They're flayed ones. And what keyword do not flayed ones
man.
have?
They're gonna get +2 strength.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dude,
They're gonna get +2 strength.
I blew Rhoda's mind when I.
I was saying for the last like couple of weeks before the things came out, the one thing I wanted to see was them bring up like kind of like Berserkers, but like allow them to be battle line and run in units of 20. I would run 100. It would suck building them. Building the flayed ones would be the worst thing in the world. I'd pay someone to go do it. But like running like 120 flayed ones would be so much fun. And you just like infiltrate. You run 120 flayed ones and the deceiver, and you're like, all right, cool. I'm gonna put one line of 20 on mid board. You're not deploying anywhere, and then go ahead and kill it. I'm just gonna charge you with 100,000 attacks afterwards
With stealth.
with stealth.
With stealth.
It's like cruise spam.
It would be a fun jail list. I've tried to come up with several jail crowns list. It just doesn't work.
All right, Dan. We got the app pulled up. Characters. Oh boy. It's like I don't even have to ask.
My characters are gonna be, or it's in my name, Orican and Dan. No, the translocation Overlord.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have Ammentar.
Ooh, I heard he's good.
Ammentar.
I heard he's good.
I'm
Amy.
gonna have
It's probably a little
Luminar.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have a
3
hex mark
marks?
because he's beautiful.
3 hex marks?
Just one.
Oh, just one for now. Okay.
I'm gonna have a catacomb command barge.
Wow.
I'm gonna have 2 Scorpec lords.
Okay.
One is going to have a 4-up Phenopain.
Makes sense.
And I'm gonna have a total of 0 Catans because
Well, your name's not Orican Catan.
Dude, you should add one more character. Then you'd have 1,000 points in characters.
that's bad luck, so I didn't do that. No, and then I'm gonna have a 20-man warrior brick with Reapers. But
I think you should run the flares, man. I heard they're better.
If I had a chrono, I would run like 1 flare. A Ghost Arc. You definitely do not need to go in there and throw Reapers. All right,
dude, I'm doing it.
You're right. No,
Dude,
too late now. You got to do it.
You got to do it for the people. You got to do it for the people, man.
Actually, you know what? No, now I want flares. No, I'm just kidding.
Wait,
Now I'm not
that
doing
one
it for
you
the people.
can mix and match. So put like 5 players in it.
No, it
Yeah,
doesn't.
5
They don't
flares.
get any benefit.
They might be
from
too
that.
far away. So like now they can choose.
He doesn't use
My
Royal Warden.
warriors,
He doesn't
dude,
use
my
Royal
warriors
Warden.
could kill nothing all game, and I do not care. The Reanimator.
And then another reanimator, right?
Nope.
They're
2
not.
Scarab Swarms.
Nice.
A Tomb Crawler. A DDA.
Can't believe this guy.
DDA.
Just
A
like
Locust Heavy Destroyer.
With what weapon? With what weapon?
A
With
Boom Boom
what?
Cannon.
Calm down, Batman.
A unit of flayed ones. Like I think it automatically comes with a Boom Boom Cannon. A unit of flayed ones.
Okay.
You should have done me last. This list is long. Ophidians.
Okay, we'll get the long one out first.
Why don't you just tell us the units you're not using?
Yeah, because Rhodas is
Yeah.
going to be 5 Catans. So
Yeah, it's gonna be great. We're getting him.
unit of Ophidians. A unit of Scorpex.
Okay.
I like the 4 Catans in Silent King. That's a
A unit
cool.
of Tomb Blades. It's going to be
Cool idea.
1 particle or 1 Tesla and then 2 particle beamer.
Okay. Is that 2000? That's 1980.
oh, he
you
probably
have,
needs like
Yeah.
the,
The sustained,
stealth.
sustained on the Overlord. My bad. Or not sustained.
Holy
Stealth.
casket. 2000. We're good.
you don't
Cool.
need stealth, dude. Like just you'll be fine.
Yeah,
you
you'll be
need
fine.
stealth.
totally love
Oh, you know.
Rogaldorns hitting us on 3s, don't we?
You'll
You
be
get a
fine.
reanimate twice, and then you have a resorb. You're fine. You get 2 resorbs. Remember
you're
back when
fine.
you used to be able to use 2 resorbs before
So
Daniel
the
got in
goal
there?
of this list is to be toxic and have no friends. I have 3 demigods that are going to not die. They could die. It's okay. They come back to life. And then I have a Scorpec Lord running by himself. I have the Hexmark, who's going to be running with Ammentar, because it's funny to give him sustained hits and then Overwatch with sustained hits on 2s. And then the Warrior Brick we already know about. We've talked about like every show. And basically my goal is to have 1 Doomsday Arc watching a 1 lane and blocking out my backside. And then everything else is just scoring. So I'm going to score 40 to 50 points of primary, and I'm going to score as much secondaries as I can, and I'm going to try not to lose my warriors in a game.
Can we take the DDA out?
No?
It's
I
so
believe
bad.
you said, what is your list, Dan? Not, hey, this is my list.
All right, guys, that is Daniel's Warriors list. Okay, no Catan. Okay, no Catan, and he's got just a DDA to cover a lane with D6 shots.
I will say I am going
Cover his
with
backside.
Yeah.
I'm going without the Catan, the backside. The backside is very important, guys. So I'm gonna say I ran the Nightbringer at Cherokee. I did really good with it. All right.
Mm-hmm.
However, when other Steven got me on the destroyer, the Scorpec destroyer train, I realized that there are just better options than a Nightbringer, and it really showed before I took a break from the game that that was my best list I think I've made in all of 10th edition. So why not continue that? But now instead of a Scorpec unit, you're basically trading 1 Scorpec unit and a Scorpec Lord for a Mentor. And I think that really helps because of the Phenopain for the Warriors, because now you don't need a Spider. And then not to mention his attacks and fight first is very, 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 very good. And they get to come back to life. Everything comes back to life. I don't die ever.
Yeah, Mentar I think is like so critical to unlocking the warrior build because you basically get like a really really good character, and then you get the spider so he's like 90 points when you're taking warriors because you were probably taking the spider already.
I truly think he is very. If he maintains the 5 up Fino Pain for himself, he is very underpointed. Right?
Oh yeah.
I think he's probably worth 190. I would probably honestly.
I was gonna say 185. Yeah, 190.
I would happily lose one of my Scarab units and still take him in my list. Right?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
He will be in every list.
I love the absolute confidence that this man has running 1 DDA and just being like, yeah,
I know.
it'll be fine.
But
it's fine. It's his list. It's his list, Steven. It's his list. You know, it's.
To be fair, I've played that list many times and it never failed me. So, except for the games I lost.
So my only argument would be that since you already have one Locust, right? The Locust Heavy, correct?
I can't wait.
You have.
I can't wait. The shit on all. Sorry, my bad. Kids watching.
Wait,
I can't wait.
Daniel.
To defecate on all your guys' lists.
Daniel, so my only argument would be the that you already have a Locust Heavy, and that since you have the Locust Heavy already, the DDA substitute that DDA for the potential Locust Lord with an extra 2 LHDs attached as 1 unit. Now you keep that next to a Minotaur, and they get all sustained on any target they target. It doesn't have to be the closest eligible target. So that would be the only thing that maybe I would micro adjust, but I don't mind 1 DDA covering a flank. I think it's a good idea.
And they can be stuff lethal, dude.
I will say, right. We're
on 5s.
I run Ultramarines a lot. I will tell you, just because Vigilant Honor Guard went to 3 wounds each doesn't make them not a threat, right? And so unless you're going to have a lot of 3 damage attacks, which Doomstalkers from range, I want that 4 damage attack to really take out those Vigilant Honor Guard. Not to mention the fact that like I've played Kylan before with 1 Doomsday Arc he has used against a Storm Raven and kills it. Things happen. It's a dice game.
Okay, but Daniel, let me just say this as well, though. So the DDA's big blast shot isn't always going to have that sustained because it's not that Victrix Honor Guard. A good player is not going to make that the closest eligible target when you shoot your DDA. The Locusts always get the sustained and the lethal, so they're exploding 5s and 6s, always hitting on 2s in your awakened list, and then 5s and 6s are lethal, and then you're hitting on 3s or wounding on 2s. Wounding on 2s. For 6 damage flat, you could potentially pick up the entire Victrix guard brick if you spiked on 5s and 6s on your rolls.
Yeah. So just a caveat, because I don't want to spend the whole podcast on my list. Kylan, I feel that's bad for everybody else. So I do want to be known though, right? Is my list, and Ulyss knows this best because he's seen me play before. I don't care about killing anything, right? I have 1 Doomsday Arc to say, hey, don't go in no man's land right here, or I could, not that I will, but I could kill you, right? If you're spending 165 points to give a Doomsday Arc sustained hits, you're not using a Mentor properly, right? I want him to go midboard. I want him to be a heroic intervention threat for anything that charges my warriors. And I want him to sit there and be annoying for the rest of the game, right? I don't want him to be around anything that can shoot. I understand I could lose points to bring more stuff, but at the same time, it's like, no one gets more mad than like, okay, cool. Am I going to use smoke for 1 Locust Heavy Destroyer? No. You let it hit, you let it wound, and then you're like, all right, how much damage is that? Oh, 6 damage. Oh crap, I should have taken smoke, right? So like that 1 Locust Heavy Destroyer is enough to do like really good damage to anything, right? So I hear what you're saying.
And I'm not arguing against the DDA. I was just saying as a variant, like it would give the sustained constantly if you were using a Minotaur in a supportive way as opposed to a frontline counter offensive.
If I wasn't a Star Shatter, I would do that with 3 Doomsday Arcs, right? If you having more shooting, but like with my list, I have played games and team events where I kill like 5 models, and it doesn't matter, right? It's just one of those things where I just want people to be afraid of my ability to do it. Doesn't mean I'm gonna do it. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it does.
I like it, man. I mean, you know, the classic. Safe to say, the Warriors, with all the changes. They still ain't going nowhere.
I don't have Catans in my list, and I understand. I want the Nightbringer in my list.
Yeah, there's no Catans, guys. The first list, there are no Catans.
Well, I'm about to go over 2 lists that just involve nothing but. So
I know. That's why you're the perfect segue. We're going to be the complete opposite. So I'm going to pull this up here, and are you going Pantheon of Woe or are you going Hypercrypt?
I am so torn between both. I think they both have such crazy variable play. I want to charge for Catan re-rolling so badly. It's hilarious.
I think we do
like,
that, man. I mean, that sounds spicy. That's like cool tech.
I think it's hilarious. So if we go into my Hypercrypt list, you're gonna lose my video feed here as I pull it up.
Oh,
Because
you're
I am
okay.
on
You're
my
okay.
phone.
So
I'm
he
gonna
was
scroll
going
up.
to a
I call
tournament tomorrow.
Yes. So
This-
I am currently in Hudson, Florida. I am excited to go to Grand Onslaught 11, it's hosted by Lewis Betancourt and Onslaught Gaming. It's a great tournament. Unfortunately, I won't be able to use a Nightbringer. I don't like using 3D printed models, so I won't be proxying anything like that. I'm not allowed to proxy a Void Dragon. But without further ado, my Monster Crypt list is how I refer to it. It is 4 Catan. It is 2 Transcendent Catans. And then the 2 named are going to be the Void Dragon and the Nightbringer. I have 2 Hexmark Destroyers. One of them is going to have the Dimensional Overseer, so you can get that extra uppy downy. You need it in this, I promise you.
Mhm.
I have Imatech the Stormlord. This is going to be a very CP hungry detachment, even though you're only interacting with really command point reroll. It is pretty CP hungry. I have a Silent King, and then I have 2 Scarab Swarms, and that is the entire list. Um, it
This
is
is
Can you
crazy.
just
rel-
replace the scarabs with something, another character? so you
Even
can do all-
Steven
can-
knows it's funny because he laughed at his own list.
Yeah, well, no, I like it. I think putting the pressure on your opponent turn 1, if they go first, is hysterical. You can literally put 3 Catan and a Silent King. Actually, you can put all 4 in their face. The way you do that is you pick up, because you have 3 pickups. You pick up the Void Dragon, the Nightbringer, and the TSK, and you Cosmic Precision the TSK 6 inches. You advance both Transcendent Catans to be 9 inches away from your opponent and can still shoot because they have assault. And then you place the Nightbringer and the Void Dragon right in front of them. And then you take your reroll charges +1 to strength. So when you get in there, because the bases are so big now, when you make your charges, you're still within 6 inches of the TSK. Now your Nightbringer's strength is 15. Your Void Dragon is still swinging. One of those is killing whatever it's charged into, and the other one's piling into and killing whatever else is there. And if not, you have 4 Catan in their face. So they're kind of screwed. Just with the flat damage profile upgrades and everything else. So I think that is it's really cheap to get into. You have to buy a king, a Void Dragon, and a Nightbringer.
Or you could 3D print it all.
Or you can 3D print it
Yeah,
all.
you can
I
3D print it
suggest
all.
you can 3D print the Transcendent Catan because it's so gatekeepy with the price point, but I would recommend just getting the normal printed Games Workshop versions of the other 2. Yeah, so it's a very cheap list to get into. I think the whole thing would cost you maybe like $400 if you're starting from scratch. And yeah, I think it's a very great stat check. All of your opponents are going to hate you, especially if you haven't been running Catan in the near. Nobody really understands how to deal with them right now, and they're just going to look at your army and go, "You just put 4 Catan in front of me." That's I don't know what to
Oh,
do
yeah.
here. I could probably kill 1. I might kill 2 if I really pump the whole thing, but then the other 2 are there.
Steven,
And-
you have to account for the 2 Transcendent Catans. You have to buy a whole vault for that. But it's okay.
No,
though,
no,
you can
that's
get
why I
Obelisk.
recommended you.
No, you
That's
get
why I
obelisk.
recommended you click through. Yeah,
Yeah,
get
Transcendent Command
obelisk.
comes with an obelisk. It's like $165
No, I
or
know.
something.
No,
and
no,
comes
it was
with
a,
an
it was a,
obelisk.
it was
It's
a
a pretty
joke.
sweet
Well,
deal.
the base it comes with, you can build a Tesseract vault still. It goes into
Yeah,
that
and then
little
you just
slot.
take the transcendent out of it.
Yeah,
But
it pops out.
still, I think it's a cheap list. And I think the Scarab Swarms just simply hold your backline. You take the hex marks to just loan up and sit on objectives while they're dealing with 4 Catan for 3 turns. Good luck.
I think you're also leaving out the best part of the list, that if you like already have a Silent King, you can paint the entire list in about 2 hours.
Yeah.
Maybe
The
less.
Silent King is gonna take 100 times more than the rest of the
I will
list.
say my list is not newer user friendly. It's gonna be like $1,200, and you have to paint every warrior. The Ghost Star.
You don't have to paint every warrior.
warriors.
Yeah, you
I
get around it,
I
but
do think this would be a great list if they didn't They didn't make it so Catans can't 6-inch.
Well, you don't understand. This is the best list if you only want to play 45-minute games.
Yeah.
Either
Yes.
you win or you
I drop
lose.
in. I either make my charges or I don't, and we have a good night. You know, it's
The
like-
only thing
I honestly, guys, I don't think it's that. I think that even dumping 2,000 points of your army is killing 2 Catan, and then you have 2 Catan to deal with the rest of it. I mean,
Yeah, I don't like my worry is always whether or not they even connect with the targets that they want to connect with. If it's an army like even like Tau or Guard, they have so many bodies to just screen your ass, like because your first turn, like yeah, with 4 of them, because it takes like 3 Dorns. It takes 3 Dorns to kill a Catan, unless they spike. Then they might kill 2 Catan in a turn, and then you're all of a sudden in big trouble because all you did was kill like 3 Toroxes, maybe. Like
I just played.
then they shoot you again with 4 more Dorns because they run
I just
away.
played Kylan with Crute spam, and like, there was nowhere to go on that list. That map, like nowhere. I take up like because it.
saying
Take up
that,
the whole
we're not
board.
saying that it might not.
but guys,
happen
with their
well,
guys, you have to remember
don't.
that now that they move 10, you don't have to pick them up. If you're in a position
Right.
now, you can just get
Yeah.
them into the position they need to be in.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I think
it's
it's a
the
good list.
variability
I'm just trying
of
to
being able to pick them up.
I'm just
Yeah,
trying to return the.
Of course.
I think.
I also
think
want
it
to
would be
like.
so everybody
fun.
understands
He's
we're
really
all friends.
protective
We're all
over his
joking with each
DEA.
other. There's no
Yeah, of
animosity
course.
here.
No,
Yeah,
right. Of
I
course.
think what if you like dropped the Hexmark and Emotech and took 1 DDA?
Yeah, it's. I think that you're CP starved. I think you have to constantly cosmic precision the units. And,
Kylan
I mean-
got my joke.
Very funny. Ha ha.
Just
Did you hear
think
chat
1 DDA,
laughing?
1
Did you hear the
DDA.
chat laughing? I don't.
They might be.
It might be.
That's what it sounds like. I think it's cool tech. I mean, the Silent King, you never really see really people using this ability. So to use it in that way, where essentially his thought process is like, you drop in, you essentially have 4 times to roll like a 9 up, right?
mm-hmm. Yep.
That's essentially what you're. Yeah, because they can reroll.
You have 4 chances to roll a 9 up, and
Yeah.
if you connect with 2 of them, I mean, because of a 9-inch rerolling is a 46% chance.
Mm-hmm.
So statistically speaking, you get 2 of those, or at least 1 of those, and it does connect. You do kill the screens relatively easy in the first. And I mean, not for nothing, you do have indirect with the king, so you can take out a chunk of those screens before you actually decide to do your either turn 2 or turn 3 bomb on them. And they can't really overextend because once they start to do that, it opens up holes in their back line and everything else where you can start dropping in Catan or a TSK or other things. So
The
and I used
reroll
to- I mean-
charges is an awesome idea. Like that's
It
actually
is.
like
It's really actually, and I don't think I've heard anyone really talk about that. The idea of cosmic precision as king, just to give the, like you said, no one ever uses that third ability. Where half of us
Right.
forgot what it was.
yeah.
So-
right. And I want to start trying to access that tech. I think that the movement of the Catan really opens that up.
Also,
Not to
if you
mention,
wrap then you're
I
like
was gonna say-
if you do plus 2-inch move, like that one would be good too.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
There's a lot.
Catan can stay within, because now they're fatter bases. They make the charge, and they're still within range of Silent King potentially. I don't know.
The
But-
plus 1
Well, because
strength.
that would mean that the base would be the bases are over 3 inches. So
You could
if
use
the
some
king is 6
reroll
inches
ones.
away and you make a 9-inch charge, well, I'm there and I get +1 to strength.
They're so much better with the reroll, or the reroll ones too. Once you like on the next turn, but I'm following.
Yeah, there's a lot.
You got to
of
take
cases where plus
take the
1 strength
charges, but
matters.
then once you're in there,
Charge on the
reroll
first turn,
once.
Yeah. But I'm
Yeah.
thinking like on the next turn when you still have two Satans left at
Yep.
the minimum. Like now they're super efficient rerolling ones. It's a
Oh wait,
Yeah.
hear me out, right? So if you go bottom turn, which is what you'd prefer in Hypercrypt, once you make your charges and do your fights, it goes into the top of the battle round, which you get to switch right away into reroll ones. So
Or 2-inch
That's
move.
interesting.
I think 2-inch
Or
move
2-inch
is
move.
like
yeah.
I would take the reroll ones if you're already in there like
Yeah.
somewhere.
the +1 strength is like really big in a lot of cases for
The Transcendence.
I don't know.
Transcendence, strength 11
moved
is
to
exactly good.
move to like +1 to wound in a lot of cases. I don't know if going from 12 to 13 matters that much on Void Dragon because most T12 things it matters for
Caveat,
monoliths,
guys.
like,
the Transcendents are a smaller base, so they will not be within 6 inches if they make the 9-inch charge.
No, but the Nightbringer and Void Dragon would be.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, just land those charges.
Just
That's
yeah.
a good.
Land those
I
ones.
think it's a fun list. There might be some armies that it could run into some difficulty with, but there's sometimes that you build a list where like, okay, it's an 80-20. I'm going to try and dodge the 20, and if I can dodge the 20, I feel very confident in the other 80. You know.
Yeah.
That's what Daniel's been doing.
And
with
it's a
his 20
huge
Warriors.
stat check. It's a
Yeah.
huge stat check. The entire list is what do you have that's anti-tank? Because if you are damage 1, damage 2, damage 3, you're done. I'm cooking you.
You basically
care
have
what you
five
put into
big.
it.
You have 5 large tanks or 5 large knights in your list, but you still actually have some pieces that hang around and actually score.
Right. It's
behind
entire
stuff.
and it's also entirely anti-melee too, because now say you don't land 2 of your charges, now your 2 Catan are within 6 inches of each other. They charge 1 Catan, but you counter offensive with the other Catan, and now you have 2 Catan into them. Or heroic intervention. I apologize, but yeah.
Yeah. No, it's fun.
Oh.
I like it.
The other day when I was playing one of my games too, it was really funny because I was playing against my buddy's Tau, and one of his piranhas came up to like open up on my Void Dragon. So I was like, I'm not going to use this CP for anything else. Straight up rolled the 6 on the spear. Was beautiful.
Nice.
And I just now realized that he actually got 2 hits because he was next to
Pretty
the
good.
Nekrosor.
That's pretty
I
good.
just realized that he actually got 2 hits with the spear, and I was like, Dunk. So that was clutch. That definitely.
Are you ever going to run the Void Dragon again, Steven?
Probably not.
I'm running the Void Dragon this week in
Oh.
at the GT.
It's a beautiful model. It's just like
It's
It's
so
so
nice.
cool.
I don't have a
So
Nightbringer right now, so Void Dragon it is. My list is called No Nightbringer, No Problem.
All right, boys. Let's talk about some Cursed Legion, shall we?
Yeah, what you got for us?
Let's talk about it. All right. So maybe some of you saw the battle report from today. If you didn't, I'd highly recommend checking it out. See some of the cool stuff you
Did.
can do.
1
All
point
right,
game. Oh,
but
that's crazy.
let's talk about this. So here are my thoughts. Okay. Because a lot of people want to try out the new stuff, obviously. Awaken's really good. Hyper's really good. But Cursed Legion, very unexplored, all right? It feels very much like we're World Eater-esque in some ways. It's very cool, okay? So, as we've talked about, every list needs to start with the one, the only, Mr. Nekrosor. You just don't leave home without him, okay? Next up, I think that these are things that I think are foundational that you're going to see probably in like every list. Next is going to be Overlord with Translocation Shroud, and he is going to get the Destroyer enhancement, which allows him to attach to Lich Guard and give them the Destroyer Cult keyword, okay? Now, I know Daniel and I have some differing opinions about Lich Guard, but I am here, and this is why he has a podcast. We're going to educate him tonight together, guys, all right? We're going to show him exactly why we have these Lich Guard and what they're doing, okay? So we're going to give him the sword. I know Daniel really wants the War-Scythe, but we're going to convert him right here, okay? We're going to give him the shields, we're going to give him the weapons, okay? And then next up, I think we bring the Nightbringer, okay? I think we bring the Nightbringer, all right? And I think we bring the Deceiver as well, okay? So we're gonna go to Catan. We're gonna go Imhotep the Stormlord, okay? My personal opinion is I think this detachment is pretty CP hungry, mainly because the strats that you want to be using is you can use -1 to hit in your opponent's shooting phase, and then it's -1 to hit in either fight phase. So you can make Lich Guard -1 to hit or Race -1 to hit in combat, which is really good. You're also going to be spending potentially 2 CP on a reactive, or not, I shouldn't say reactive, but a 6-inch charge at the end of your opponent's charge phase if they're within 6 inches of a Destroyer Cult unit. So that would be your Race, that would be now your Lich Guard, etc. All right. This is, I think, I don't want to say it's going to be mandatory, but it does feel very strong. Initial testing with the Technomancer with the Murder Mine, which gives him the ability to attach, well, he already has the ability to attach to race, but giving them the Destroyer Cult keyword so they synergize with the detachment. So race are now able to go to strength 8, and their weapons are strength 7. And then now it unlocks the ability for them to use the 2CP strat to charge at the end of your opponent's charge phase, which is really strong. So we're going to give them the Tomb Crawlers, and we are going to give a unit of race. And this is, I feel like, where we're at the first like 1,500 points of the core of it, I feel like. Catan are maybe situational, I think, as far as what you want to run there. So next up, we're going to fill it out with some Scorpex. So we're going to add a Scorpec Lord. We're going to just... what was that?
Can't leave home without him?
Yeah, can't leave home without him. Just because we have some points, we're going to give him the Mask of the Nekrosor, so it gives the unit +1 to hit. So now Scorpex are, respectively, the Scorpec Lord is strength 12, Scorpex are strength 9. They're hitting on 2s with full hit rerolls when they charge and potentially sustained if they're next to Nekrosor, so they will definitely punch through some stuff. We are going to bring 2 units of Ophidians. I think these units are extremely strong in this detachment. They're just a great profile. It's 6/2/2 now. You can reposition them if you need to. They move 10. You can advance and charge them. Very strong. And then we have roughly like 130 points left where we can add some like scoring pieces where you could have some flayed ones in there. And let's see what we finish out at here. I think we have flayed ones here. That leaves us 75 points left. And then I think from there, maybe you just add like a unit of Tomb Blades. Okay.
What about Reanimator?
You could. Yeah, you could add Reanimator too. We could put...
Why no Doomsday Arc?
There's just
well,
like one.
we don't have
just
points
like
for
one
that tonight.
Okay.
So essentially how this list wants to play is you're trying to maybe quote unquote like jail them, but the synergy is you use the Deceiver and the Lich Guard and the Race to push turn 1. So the Lich Guard are moving 13 inches to be able to get on your natural expansion, safe on any board because they move so fast to hide.
That's so fast.
You have the Deceiver that stages up next to them, and you tell your opponent, hey, if you charge my Lich Guard, I'm going to heroic with a Deceiver. And if you don't charge my Lich Guard and try to deny the point, I'm just going to spend 1 CP and charge you. And then I'm still going to have the point. Then on the center, you're going to have the Race. And the Race are essentially doing the same thing where you put, a couple Race on the center point, you string the rest of them back. And then, by the way, we're just going to put Necrosor 6 inches away from the Race and essentially create the same puzzle where you have to come out and you have to bring something meaningful out to interact with the Race. And by the way, you can give them -1 to hit in this detachment as well. So they're not easy to shift. And if you don't have the luxury in this detachment to just throw Crude on a point, throw Guardsman on a point, because I'm just going to charge you. So the only downside that I can see with Cursed Legion is it's not going to be very good into hole spam. I think there are some options where you could bring Locust Heavies or you could bring in DDAs. DDAs don't really synergize with the detachment very well. And Locust Heavies are very expensive with a character to put in your backfield for 3 shots that probably aren't going to kill most holes like outside of a Torox. So then
and you can't guarantee they'll be next to Necrosor either.
Right, exactly. And Necrosor doesn't want to play it like in this detachment. So I think either there's 2 ways to build it. You bring 1 Catan, which is the Deceiver, and you drop the Nightbringer and you bring in more Scorpex to just bring more. So you bring in essentially like 3 or 4 more units of Scorpex. So 2 units of Scorpex, another Lord. And it just gives you more to push and more to laser out. But again, you're still, the only things that you have in the list that are going to be over strength 12 is just the Scorpec Lords and Necrosor, which isn't enough to get through like Dorns or Knights Baby or something like that. But I personally am not super sold on Locust Heavies in this detachment personally, and I'm not super sold on the tech of like the Chronomancer with the Locust Destroyers. I think playing it like this and the setup turn 1 it feels extremely strong, and it creates this puzzle where most people have not played against Necrons yet, where it's like, oh, I actually have to like get these guys off the point. I can't just like auto see you. Like I actually have to move them in some way, or you charge them, right? So it's very cool, very cool. So yeah,
Dark Eldar, not Dark Eldar. Dark Angels has the same kind of mechanic with the at the end of your charge phase that can make a charge. And so they do is they use them on those guys that are like -1 damage or whatever. And it's like, I don't want to charge a unit into Terminators, like not kill it, and then just kills me, and now like whatever. And you can't just move like a unit of like Tomb Blades on an objective marker and just steal it, right? So that was a really good mechanic for Dark Angels. So it's really strong in our detachment. I didn't know about the race thing. That's a very interesting like mechanic as well, because it gives like Necrons are really good at being durable, right? And then if you happen to charge a Wraith Brick into something and you kill something, you could activate reanimation protocols.
right.
I do think that, and if I was gonna, and I'm again, this is your list, so like I'm not pooping on your list at all. I do think that the best enhancement in this detachment, probably on par with giving the Overlord the ability to join Lichguard and be able to do that thing, is the Blood Surge. I think that like the biggest complaint people had with the original Destroyer cult is that we had a Blood Surge kind of, but it was like a shitty Blood Surge, right? Where it's like now if you run a Scorpek Lord with a 6-man brick, you can Blood Surge, right? Because, and to be fair, Scorpeks are kind of like, they do die to like cheap shooting, right?
Yeah.
But you could make a -1 to hit, right? There's things you could do to like help with that. I like the list, especially if you go down to 1 Catan, right? You get rid of the Nightbringer, right? You could definitely add that. It's just, yeah, the Wraith thing was really interesting. I didn't think about that. I didn't realize it gave the bearer the Destroyer cult ability.
Yeah, the countercharge thing is like actually game changing for us, because I'm pretty sure I can track down every single game I've lost over the last year has come down to someone not actually interacting with my units and just going like, bleh, here's 5 guardsmen, and I'm like,
Right.
no, my only weakness, like, and that just like smooths over it. Especially if you were thinking about like dropping one of the Catan, you could even like think of something like putting the Silent King into it, because then you have another bulky thing, and then you have at least like some shooting. And the Silent King, he's like Frank's Red Hoss. You can put that shit on anything, dude. And he just
That's
like
true.
gives you at least a unit of shooting and another durable body that like fights really good. And I haven't looked that much into Cursed Legion, but like after you've just explained it to me, I'm like, dude, Lichguard moving 13 inches is like, I'm really excited about that.
Dude,
You know,
I mean, I was literally on my opponent's like home field in the game. Like,
Yeah.
It was crazy. Yeah. I
My
mean, they're
only thing about running, because we already talked about the Catans, right, being so expensive. I think it's really hard for a list to be successful if you're going to run more than 1 Catan and the Silent King, right? Because at that point, 1,000 points of your list is into like 1 mechanic of a game, and it's like if you play in an army that can handle 1 of the 3, right, a Catan or the Silent King, then like they usually have enough to handle all of them, right? Especially in like, keep in mind, I speak in more of like a team mindset where it's like people are usually building for 1 mechanic or the other, right?
yeah.
So like if you're gonna run the Silent King with this detachment, you probably don't run Catans. It's good, right? Especially with what he was talking about with the extra movement and stuff, right? That's a plus for the Scorpeks and stuff. But no, yeah, I haven't done too much research into the curse thing, but like what you were saying with the whole like people can do stuff and you can't activate, you can't react to it. I was playing Ulyss like a month ago, and that's what I did with my JPI. Is I just moved my 5-man JPI onto his expansion objective. It was like, here's 10 OC. What are you gonna do about it? And it's like you can't do anything, but now you can. Now you're like, all right, you can do that, but I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna charge you with my Scorpek unit. I'm gonna kill all your 5-man JPI models.
The other good thing about the like stack of Lichguard is, guess what people aren't going to be brinking now that we're in a -1 damage meta.
Damage. 2 damage. You're right.
Yeah.
No.
Like,
there's a lot of -1 damage.
Yeah, like,
bringing.
that's like one of the.
And the
reason
crazy
why they
part
will though is because there's still berserkers. Like there's still like
Yeah.
There's still things that exist.
Blood
that
Angels
do
still
that to humans,
exist.
but
yeah,
Yeah.
Blood Angels, JPI, Space Marines. Most Space Marine models are going to be 2 wounds. Where like
Yeah.
against us,
It'll
the
be
2
less
damage
of-
isn't a big deal. But I
it'll be
think
less
we'll
effective.
still see a lot of 2 damage attacks because it's like an Inceptor unit is 18 shots with double sustained. Like you're gonna see like at least.
And that probably
three-
leads you into taking 2 Catan instead of the Silent King then, because then you then that smooths over a 2 damage. Like if they don't have 2 damage, Lich Guard all of a sudden take over the game, and if they do have 2 damage, then you just put the Catan in front of them.
Yeah.
Also,
Or-
if their 2 damage is melee, you just heroic that shit.
Or you run Star Shatter.
Or you just take Silent King -1 damage.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That too. How would you guys
I
read
can
this
read it on his
enhancement?
face.
How would you guys interpret this enhancement?
So this
So
is
we-
about the
So, if the Technomancer joins the race, does the unit have the Destroyer Cult keyword?
I think it does, because it's the same as the unit having the infantry.
this is
keyword.
the-
Yes. Yeah.
no, this is the other.
This has probably been one of the biggest things I've been seeing in contention on the forum. So
Very
maybe we can try to.
Yes, that gives
Yeah.
it. Yeah, because the character gives the keywords it has to the unit.
Right.
Yeah.
And it can join the race because it says it can be attached to a destroy code unit. If
It's the
and
same thing as
it could be a
asking
nerf. Like it could be a future like fix to it, right? Where it's like it must be attached to a destroyer cult unit, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Because it says it
it's the
can
same thing
be.
as the Technomancer giving the Wraithbreak infantry. When he has a keyword, he gives and the unit
Yeah,
assumes
'cause-
that keyword.
Yeah, because you're taking infantry, so yeah, 100%.
Destroyer-
Trajan cannot join the unit. I don't know.
So somebody's saying the
so-
unit does, but models in the unit wouldn't have the detachment.
Maybe
rule.
the way it's worded is so that you can't add an overlord to that unit for some reason.
So the
Oh,
difference-
so the difference, the difference between that is because the detachment rule says destroyer cult models.
yes.
So the model itself doesn't have the
It-
detachment.
Think
it
of
doesn't have
Canoptic
the
Court with the Plasmancer and the Mortal Bomb with the Mortals back at the start of the Codex. It used to be cryptic units, and then they changed it to cryptic models, right? And that's what did it, right? Is now you can't Immortals
Now
are
all the models in the unit
Yeah.
have to have the cryptic or the destroyer keyword. in this case.
Interesting.
Because
Interesting.
GW typically doesn't know the difference between a unit and a model, and this comes up in like if you're shooting indirect with the Silent King and your Minhir can see, the unit can see, so the king hits on
Right.
2s
Yep.
because the unit can see, the model can shoot because the model's shooting with indirect, but it doesn't take the penalty because it's the model. Like it's the same thing with the who are the guys, the Zoanthropes becoming like they can do the
Yeah.
monsters, so they can
Okay.
be
Yeah. They know what you're
engaged.
talking about. Yep,
You
yep,
know,
yep.
it happens every once in a while, and it's because the difference between a unit and a
It's
model.
just hard for me
Okay.
to believe. Okay. It's a hard mechanic.
I'm glad we cleared this up. That's why we have this
So,
podcast. So
Pyro said no tomb crawlers for destroyers. Are you not running tomb crawlers, or are you saying you can't do tomb crawlers with destroyers? Because if you run the cryptic with a destroyer unit, right? If you run the Technomancer with the destroyer unit, theoretically you could add tomb crawlers to it, right? Because it's
yeah. They
Yes,
can normally
you can add
attach
tomb
to
crawlers
race.
too because tomb
Exactly.
crawlers are added
I
in
didn't
the
know if Pyro
reinforcement step
Bubbles was saying you
for the
can't
battle
do that.
formations. Tomb crawlers are added in the battle formation step to the bodyguard unit, so they become part of the wraith unit.
Why-
They're not
Why
separated.
would? So yeah, but what I'm asking is, Pyro's reading it as you can or you can't, right? They're saying that you can't add it, but they're saying the model for the crawlers and the thralls says you attach to a
Cryptic.
unit, right? It's not.
It's still a cryptic unit.
Yeah,
It's still
it
cryptic
doesn't-
and destroyer. It's both.
Yeah, it doesn't give any caveats. It's not like a leader. Like if you look at your,
It doesn't
Codex,
say
you
it
look around.
removes all other keywords, so they still assume all their current keywords, which would be cryptic.
it's why if a monster joins an infantry unit, right? Like Tyranids can do that, I believe, and then so can
Exactly.
things. They still can't go through walls because they still like even though they gain the infantry keyword, they're still monsters,
They're monster infantry, right? So they can't go through walls because of the monster keyword.
bro.
Yeah.
But yeah, tomb crawlers can still be attached to the wraithbreak and still be attached to that enhancement.
Enhancement says, the enhancement says the bears unit cannot contain any laws without the Yeah, but if you attach,
the cryptex first, technically before the tomb crawlers before you attach the techno. This might be something that needs to be FAQ'd because it's like it's not worded the best.
Well, because it's like when we attach characters to units, we're not like, all right, I'm gonna attach this unit first, and then this one.
Well,
like,
what is GW trying to prevent by writing that? Is the question.
What's
I
the
think they're
rules
talking
in
about.
Warhammer?
I think specifically with like them, like tomb crawlers being attached to like locust destroyers, lich guard, that sort of thing, right? You're not able to do that, but the race, I mean, they can already attach to the race. I don't. That would be weird. I feel like.
So
yeah, I don't know.
I guess here would be the caveat that I would say. Both players are the active player in the declare battle formation step, so he can declare it in whichever step or formation he needs to, so that they can both fit in there at the same time for whatever keyword he needs at the certain time. Daniel, you're not talking.
Oh, he's muted.
I was typing. That's the problem with like the game state. A lot of times is like people will read a rule like using resorbs twice in a single turn.
Yeah, I think.
You mean that legal thing that used to happen?
Yeah. Also, I would wager that usually if there's a rules interaction that's weird and it can be ruled negatively for Necrons, that's the ruling that gets chosen.
I'm gonna go on a limb here and say you probably just should have had crawlers to destroyer unit.
Or Resorb.
Yeah.
Well, I think I think because of that caveat, I think because of that caveat in the thing, you might not be able to attach them to destroyers. I think the intent is that you attach your
your
cryptech
crawlers
to
destroyers. No, you shouldn't be able to do that.
Do
I mean to wraiths. Sorry, to wraiths. I don't know if you can attach to wraiths.
Scorpack destroyers would be if you could add tomb crawlers to it.
I want to add
be like
crawlers to my
instant,
locust
like,
destroyers.
You have to have that unit. Like whatever.
Yeah, was it good? I mean, I'm glad it clarifies as far as on the detachment with Cursed Legion. So it is on a model check, not a unit check. So just bear that in mind for everybody watching. And yeah, that's Cursed Legion. So I don't know. Do we want to go Euless next? Steven next?
I'm down.
All right, Steven's down. Let me pull it up. We got you guys are both doing Star Shatter, right?
Yeah, the one that I'm like happiest with right now is a Star Shatter list.
I'm curious
But
how
I've
ours
also like
differs.
played exactly Star Shatter, like exclusively Star Shatter since like basically it came out, except for every once in a while when I try Awaken and I go, I'm not fast enough.
Yeah, dude. It's like once you go, it's like when you play Star Shatter for so long and then you go to Awaken, you're like, man, I'm really not killing anything. This is great.
Yeah, you're like, I have to spend a CP to just like assault. Damn it.
Yeah, the speed
I feel
is-
like now I haven't been able to figure out a list quite that I love with Star Shatter yet, but man, with the sus now and him's thing, I mean, man, the amount of damage that can pop off, I feel like now if you set up things correctly, could be sus on the king is just crazy.
Yeah, it's really good.
Rolls, like, but anyways, Star Shatter.
So starting right from the top, the best Catan, the Deceiver. Period.
Yeah.
He's the best.
Yup.
I will. And then followed by, I still love Xeris in Star Shatter because hitting on twos with Xeris, usually he's brawling over an objective. Hitting on twos just feels really good. A lot of times you can be getting reroll ones. You have multiple ways to access it in Star Shatter, which of course we are going to be taking the King as well and Nekrosor. So we are putting the whole combo together. I really feel like Necrosor and Illuminar are kind of like both mini Catans. If Necrosor gets a Feel No Pain, he's even more of a mini Catan, but they work so well together and they smooth over one of our biggest problems, which is like not having a real heroic threat. And now we have them all over and the king doesn't have to just keep watching from his chair, which is great. And then a Technomancer with -1 damage, because if you're taking Star Shatter, you're taking -1 damage because the king wants -1 damage. So, and the best way I've found to get the -1 damage is by taking putting it on a Technomancer because he's the easiest to keep around the king. I've found Warrior Bricks, sometimes it's hard to keep the characters that you want around the king. Whereas Wraiths, it's like if they do precision the Technomancer, it's a lot harder because they're T6, and it just seems like the Wraiths are able to be where you need to make sure that you have it. And then like my also line of thinking is if I'm taking like a Scorp Lord with the -1 damage, that's 115 points that I could be spending somewhere else instead of a character that's already leading a unit that I like. Which obviously, if you're taking Technomancer, I'm taking 6 Race. I'm never leaving like Tomb Crawlers behind either. They've just flat out replaced Crypto Thralls. If Crypto Thralls go down on points, then we'll start considering it. But right now, I like the Tomb Crawlers a lot better because the Tomb Crawlers are bigger. So Wraiths more than Warriors need that extra length to sometimes stretch out to the places they need to get while still protecting the Technomancer because he's so valuable. So Tomb Crawlers just like instantly became the go-to. Every once in a while, the ignore mods matters, like against Vitrix, for example.
And the extra 2 dice on the mortals is nice too. Like just a free
Oh
roll.
yeah, like the 2 dice on the mortals is clutch. Because when you roll that 7 on mortals, you're just like, it's like double grenades basically. And then I am taking double reanimator. And my line of thinking with this is one of the reanimators can go one way, one of the reanimators goes the other way. If a reanimator gives 3 wounds back to your deceiver once a game, he's made his points back. That's all he has to do once. I also think of them kind of like how other armies will use like a rhino, where they're like, my rhino runs out, dumps everybody out, and they either shoot or charge or do whatever. And then the rhino hangs back and sits on the objective. So the reanimator is also kind of like a 75-point enhancement that follows along. People don't have time to shoot it when the Catan and Wraith and Nekrosor are coming at them, or the King or whatever else. And if they do, usually I'm like pretty happy. I'm like, okay, like I've had my reanimator take a Tyrannifex Rupture Cannon to the face, and I rolled 12 out of 16 damage to just survive. And he was fine. So
the reality is if he eats 12 wounds, that's kind of similar if he helps you get an extra D3 or
it's just like now it didn't go into something else, so I'm like, all right, I'm fine with that activation. And they're just like absurdly durable whenever you need them to be usually. Then I just got a unit of 5 death marks. I always find a use for my death marks, whether it's falling in my backline. In this case, they probably a lot of time will be, because I'm not going to have a lot of backline screening because the last 2 units are 2 Doomsday Arcs, twice as many as Daniel.
Yeah, I was gonna say you should. I don't know, man. 1 seems like the new trend. Just
maybe 1. But I'm thinking 2. And the other nice thing about Doomsday Arcs is in this list in particular, a lot of times Doomsday Arcs do just eat up a lot of real estate, and they can act as screens while everything else moves forward. And even if they aren't keeping the King's reroll aura, he has such valuable things to give the reroll aura to now with the Necrosor and Deceiver that it's like, okay, fine. The Doomsday Arcs can just sit back and post up and keep things screened out. And if a Doomsday Arc just sits on my home objective, a lot of times people can't put 5 OC on it like effectively. And if they do, then I just overwatch them if I have to.
The nice thing with the Reanimator too is like synergizing well with the strat and Star Shatter at the start of the fight phase if they're on an objective, so you could like still reactive reposition the Reanimator, pop that strat for 2d3 on your turn, and then
and I do feel like that the best detachment for Catan right now might be Star Shatter, because they got reactive move. They have I don't know if any of the new detachments give them agency over their reanimate, do they? Because like you can't use reanimate and awakened.
You can't do it in Destroyer Cult, I don't think, because I think it's also Destroyer Cult keyword, I believe. But let me double check.
Yeah, so it's the same situation where you can like, if you take a punch while you're getting to wherever you need to go, you have that extra reanimator to pop the strat, which it feels bad to roll it like the reanimate without the reanimator. So that's part of the reason I like it. And if they punch you and then you roll you can just walk to an objective and then just reanimate on the objective, and then you're like, all right, next turn I'm fighting over this objective with 2d3 more wounds than you were expecting. So I feel like Star Shatter has one of the best synergies. Also, a lot of times there are people like Destroyer Cult, for example, that have -1 to hit, or smoke or something like that. The Deceiver like his glow up is it can't be understated, because the precision is effective now. If like people can't just run around with a character out in the open, period. It is dead. And also the Deceiver next to Ammentar and the Silent King averages 8.2 damage, unless I did my math wrong, into Gilliman, which is basically a dead Gilliman every time. And so that's also 8.2 damage into Magnus. That's also 8.2 damage into, anyone without a feel no pain that's a character. A Rogel Dorn tank commander is a character. So yeah, a knight. It's just like it's so consistent that it's that shot is really good. Vitrix going down to 3 wounds is just so huge for him, because he can just run into a Vitrix honor guard unit and just he has the most swings. He has the most Vitrix honor guard killing swings in the of the bunch. And if you really need him dead, you can +1 a wound.
+1 a wound, yeah.
So and then he's still wounding on 2s in that case, because he's strength 10 now. So the strength 10 is also a really big glow up, because a lot of things that he wants to punch are like little, like usually he's like scrumming with like rhinos and stuff like that, and just being able to just punch a rhino without like worrying about it that much is really nice. So it's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah, I like it, man. It's a thick list.
Yeah,
thick
I
list.
think you have too many Doomsday Arcs.
Yeah, just one too many of those. But outside of
too many.
Guys, real quick, since we just wrapped up Steve's list, I know I want to hear Ulyss's as well. I'm sure I'll catch it tomorrow, but it is 12:30. I have to be up in 7 hours to do an RTT here. I love all you guys. I love all the Necron players in the whole world. You're all my Tomb Brothers, and best of luck. I think that on a final closing statement for myself would be Dan will eventually fall in love with Catan, and we're going to call him Catan. And,
I like it.
and then
I like
that
it.
will be his new nickname.
Arcatan
Have a good night,
land.
everybody.
I'll be there in a second.
Good luck tomorrow.
I'll be there in a second, Rhoda.
All right.
Oh, and I also forgot one of the things too. The other reason that I really like Xeris is him having lone op and being durable is such a unique situation for us, and pulling people into us is extremely valuable, especially for like Catan and stuff like that. Yeah, being able to force them to come to you really helps. And Xeris is the best one at doing that, because half the time he's gonna like not die. Actually, probably more than half the time he's gonna live.
Well, like my last Star Shatter list that had Nightbringer in before all the changes, in like the last 20 games, I think I was able to get Nightbringer into combat 19 out of 20 of those, and that was just because the list is designed to bring you in. And it's like if you didn't, or you're not, then you just give up midboard, which generally in 40K right now, if you can't hold midboard, then it's hard to win those games. So
I just always saw myself trading down with my knight. Like I would get into combat with one thing. Like you're right, you get into combat 19 out of 20 times, but then it's like you have to be mindful of what you're charging, right? Because you don't.
The thing is, well, no, not really. So like the thing is I don't really care what they're killing. I want them to kill something, but then that following the turn that they're gonna die in is also gonna be the turn that my DDAs and Silent King are exposed in. So it's that idea that he's not maybe trading for 300 points of something. He's trading for 150, and then he's keeping my other 1,700 safe.
Yeah, that's a good point too, because like those the DDAs are poking out at the same time he's coming out. So like it's like
because my goal of my previous Star Shatter list was I want 3 DDAs alive in turn 4. What do I have to do to give my opponent something else to worry about before they kill my DDAs? And that's why most of the games my DDAs ended up on my opponent's home objective, because they were pushing forward at a certain point. But no, I would say my Star Shatter list is very similar to Ross's.
To answer Scarecrow's question, yeah, because every detachment in the game is literally you can only take 3. The problem with the Pantheon one or whatever, technically you take 5 enhancements. Technically you take up to 6. Because if you bring the Nightbringer, Deceiver, and the Void Dragon, you take 3 Transcendent Catans. You don't have an option. You have to take those things.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
I don't think they're called enhancements, right? They're like something else. They're like
binding or something.
Yeah, they're not called enhancement. That's why they get around the ruling.
But I mean, I want to think of it as like as enhancements. I think of it as like an extra charge for like an extra
buff.
thing.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
But it's like that's the other thing too. Is like I don't like the Transcendent Catan in that detachment because like if it allowed you to like do the like I would have preferred if the enhancement thing whatever you want to call it gave it the teleport and charge out of it. Obviously not 6 inches, but if you could teleport in like 9
There's
inches.
other armies that get to do the 6-inch charge. I don't know. But
Yeah, I feel like the Transcendent is just like he's to give you +1 AP. He's to bomb in and give you +1 AP. But like if he can't charge, they should just let him do it at 3 inches. I think.
Oh,
Well,
necrodermal
I didn't like the-
binding abilities.
Yeah, I didn't like the fact that like they made it so if you come within 9, you can't charge. But they didn't say like if you do it outside of 9. Can you go to the Transcendent Catan?
Oh, that does actually let him charge because
No, but that's what I thought. But you're to do the ability, you're still advancing.
Advancing, yeah, you can't charge.
So that's
Even though they threw the verbiage in there for whatever reason, which is why it's confusing people.
I thought they were saying that if you came in within 6, you couldn't, but at 9,
like,
you
I would rather just run
that would be
Hypercrypt
big
with it, and then just
Yeah.
because like at this point you can't charge, and you like what are you gonna do with it, right? You're gonna go in 6 inches and just be like, hey, shoot me now, so you're not shooting my other Catans. Like I guess that's useful to an extent, but it's
if someone isn't on the objective correctly, there is some times when you can land on but yeah, that's usually not like something you're expecting to happen.
But again, I would just run Hypercrypt then, because it's like instead of sacrificing for a 6-inch, right? Instead of sacrificing a Transcendent Catan that's 300 points with plus the 25, I would just sacrifice a Triax Stalker. Like
you'd sacrifice a lot for 6 inches. Huh?
It's a kid's show.
That's what he said.
all right.
I heard nothing. I don't know what he's talking about.
All I want to say is it's midnight here too, and you don't see me going to bed. And I also have an RTT tomorrow.
That's it. You don't have to run it though.
I'm gonna run.
Are you running Marines?
Yeah. So
that's why you don't even have to like think. You just press.
Dude. I mean, you got advancing charge now, man.
I have Catans that are 16 wounds and has a 40.
He's got +1 wound.
Oh.
Yeah, he's fine.
I have Necrons. See,
that's true. Dude, I want to hear Ulyss's list. Okay, what's your spin on this, man?
All right, so here's my thing. So, and I'm curious what for the people who still have hanging around with us, because there's one thing I'm really torn on. But as far as the characters, I am keeping the Techno in the race. I am keeping. I want to try Necrosor and Illuminor together, the Smash Brothers.
Yep.
As a combo. Instead of the Deceiver, I got Nightbringer.
Okay. I like the Smash Bros. That's a good slang term. That might stick.
Yep.
The Smash Bros.
Tag team champions of the world.
I am going with Ross's play here with 2 DDAs.
Okay.
I've got 2 Locust Heavies for a little extra punch on my not full commit turn, but my like little mini commit turn.
Yep.
And then the thing that maybe sets me a little bit aside is I've got 2 Psychomancers. One of them will have Demanding Leader.
Interesting.
And if I did my math right, I believe that leaves me with 400 points.
Monolith.
Oh, T-Volt, man.
What's that?
T-Volt, man.
No death marks. Yeah. And I actually don't have the points for the tomb crawlers for my list. Where's that? Is that 14? Or does that leave us 400 points or no?
I'm at 2,000 right now. One of my Nightbringer.
Oh, you have Silent King in there, right? Okay,
Yeah.
so that's the question. So my question, and I'm your guys' thoughts, and anyone who's watching. So the question comes down to in Star Shatter for 400 points, you can either have the Deceiver plus the Overlord of the reroll ones, or you can have Silent King.
Silent King.
You think like Silent King generally? I'm leaning that direction as well.
It's the sus,
But,
man. I feel like
How many
it's
activations in this list? Like how many drops?
the extra Locust Heavies gives me a few extra, but
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 11. Not bad.
11. Is that including the characters in the race?
I include
yeah. But
probably
drops. I've been playing with few drops though. Like I've not had a problem with it, to be honest. Like it's the reality of it is there's a few action secondaries that I maybe don't score. And I just get some extra CP for it. But the idea behind the list is that there's a lot of really durable, like you got Race, you have 2 DDAs, you got Silent King, you got Nightbringer, you got 2 characters that, Smash Brothers. Because my thought process is Illuminor and Necrosor go up to midboard. The Race go and reinforce my expansion. And then like my question to like people is like, okay, Illuminors are literally, I'm going to literally on turn 1, I'm going to put Illuminor on midboard objective. What are you going to do? He's going to be lone op because Necrosor is going to be close. Do you charge him? If you charge him, Necrosor is going to heroic intervene, right? So maybe your answer is I'll just out OC him. Well, I have 2 Psychomancers that are going to give you a 33% chance to succeed on that.
Dude, psychos are good.
So what is your answer? Your answer is, I don't know, throw some Exalted into Illuminor. Cool, I'll just kill the Exalted. That's fine. Like I'll make that trade, and then we'll keep making a trade game. I think I think I like this idea. This is gonna be the next one I probably try. It only has 1 Satan, which is kind of unfortunate, but I think Daniel might be right to some extent to the idea if you overcommit Satan and everyone else does as well, we might be running into a lot of Satan counters. I'm actually really worried about Sisters. I think Sisters are very sneaky.
Sisters, Guard, Marines.
So I think you got to be careful to go too deep into it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I still miss my Ghost Arc though. I still like the list that I had. The list that I had, I basically can keep that same exact list. I just change the 2 Walkers to a Locust Destroyer, and then all of a sudden it's exactly the same list. And that was with the triple DDA, Silent King, Nightbringer, Illuminor, just no Necrosor, obviously. So I like the idea what Steven was saying though about the Reanimator, because like you said, I mean, for the Satans, the Star Shatter might be one of the best as far as reanimating Satans, especially if you've got the Race in there too. So you're like, so what is that? It's 4d3 a turn for healing,
plus the techno.
Oh wait, no, plus
5d3.
5d3 a turn.
Yeah, I really like the techno with it too, because the techno can fly over to whichever one he needs to, and at that point too, it's like, oh, now you can precision my techno. Cool, go ahead. Whoever's gonna precision my techno is getting heroic by the Catan that was 6 inches away. Like, well, I'll make that trade. Like,
no, and realistically, you should still be able to keep your techno relatively safe. Like your Race. Now, in your list, what is going to advance towards your opponent's expansion?
It would probably be mostly just like shooting them off of it, and kind of. I haven't really been contesting my opponent's expansion. That
was my problem with that was my problem with my last Star Shadow list, and that's why I was kind of contemplating the idea of going the Overlord and the Deceiver, because then the Deceiver could play that role.
Yeah, the Deceiver also, since like the redeploy is like really, really like good in Star Shatter, it makes your opponents have to play completely differently, and you can also just kind of like post him up, see where people like put him, and then you could also just throw him up in the sky after deployment. So you still, one of the things I like about it is almost every game I get outdropped. As Necrons, almost everyone outdrops me, and this allows me to reposition my, my other units, and I can maybe shift my DDAs over to another side. But the Deceiver could just shoot up into the sky, and then he could be the one that goes after the primary expansion, and I hold mine with Xeris, because a lot of times I was just holding mine with Xeris, but now I can hold mine with Xeris and Ammentar, and it's like most people have to come over and punch Xeris to kill him, and I don't think I've lost Xeris to shooting. Even yesterday I got shot by like 2 Dorns, and he was okay.
What was different in our 2 lists as far as like how you're fitting the extra, because you have the Deceiver, Nightbringer, and Silent King in there, right?
Me? No,
Yeah.
I don't have the Nightbringer.
He
I
says
only
Deceiver.
Oh, you
leave
have just the deceiver. Okay.
just
Yeah.
the deceiver. Yeah. So we basically like flipped on that.
Yeah.
And then I took the reanimators, and you took the psychos and the
Yeah,
Locust.
no, if I had
I
if
really
had
like the
75 points, if I had 75 instead of 65 right there, I might, and I might even consider dropping one of the Locust heavies. I like the thought process of the reanimator. Actually, is kind of interesting. It also makes the race that much more durable too, as far as like coming back.
And it's probably near Xylem King a lot of times too.
Yeah, it's not a horrible thought process. I mean, I may flip things around a little bit, but now is that the list you've been playing, or you've been getting reps in with, or no?
No, I was playing Awakened lists, but that was where you know, I was kind of finding that you know, more than one Satan was just not getting me what I needed.
Part of my thought process with the Psychomancers is the Psychomancers just ruin an Awakens list days. Like,
they're awesome, dude.
Well, if the characters can't come back to life, that really hurts Awaken.
And also, if you don't know if your characters are going to come back to life or not, because you don't know until the next turn if they're going to come back to life or not. Like I played against an Awakened list. He wasn't running. He was running a Warrior Brick, and he didn't even bother trying to contest the middle and the secondary objective because I had the Psychomancers. He was just like, I'm not even going to bother.
Yeah.
He's like held his primary, and eventually, because he was getting strangled out when Ammentar and Luminor came out, I hit the battle shock on both of them, and I just killed both of them. It was brutal. It was like really rough.
Well, and also all the blood surges don't work if you're battle shocked. You know.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's really big for the Victrix.
Yeah. So there's a few different things, and you don't need line of sight for it. You know.
It removes guard orders.
What's that?
It removes guard orders, which is really big in that matchup. So that they're like +1. Not only are like their +1 OC disappears also at the same time.
Yeah. That's true too.
Now we only have the agency over in our turn unless they're within 6 inches, but on some matches, like board 2, for example, is one where you can be within 6 inches of the middle, and maybe get them to, be within his aura.
Well, no, the psychos only work in our turn.
Well, he has the aura thing that goes off in their command
for 6 inches.
Yeah.
So if they're within 6 inches, that's why I was saying board 2 in particular, because I played it last night. Is one where he can kind of sit there and be like, you still have to take one. Yeah. So it can deny primary in that situation.
And if you have Satans nearby, people don't necessarily want to charge it.
Yeah. If people are within 6 inches of a Psychomancer, though, usually there's no more Psychomancer. Is my experience.
Generally the rule, but unless if you're having a full out, I've had it happen though, like when you're having a full out brawl at midboard, and he just says, "Yellow, I'm gonna go stick my nose in it" because everyone else is tied up in combat.
Yeah, especially if they're like if they're a monophase army, sometimes you just throw them out there and you're like, okay, shoot him. He's gonna stand back up, and you don't have any combat. It's like, go ahead and tank shock him. That's fine with me, like.
No,
I think it was a game. I think it was a night game or something like that. He ended up getting up there, but
yeah.
It's a solid list, man. Excited to hear thoughts on it.
Yeah, like I said, the Psychomancers are the wild card. I got to get some reps in and see how I feel about it. And then I've got, instead of having the third DDA, just throwing in some Locust heavies to give me a little bit more, because the Locust heavies don't need the reroll ones as much since they're already rerolling ones to wound. So you're only losing the reroll ones to hit, which it does suck, but it's not. I can actually go and play. Engage on all fronts or behind enemy lines potentially with them and still get value.
Screening too, so
yeah.
You don't even feel bad throwing them away, because like half the time they'll like live because people don't want to put enough damage into them, and since they're at that 4 wound spot, so they're like, haha. Especially if people start teching back to 3 damage. For Victrix, like all of a sudden, they are.
Well, and we've talked about it too, like the value of the Locust heavies. The idea too with them was just that, okay, do you want to use a defensive strat for a 55-point unit? And then if you don't, now you've taken 6 wounds on your 12 wound vehicle, and you're like, well, now do you want to use a stratagem for your half dead vehicle? And you're like, well, probably not really now, So
Yeah, it is really good too, because I think in particular the guard matchup. I'm traumatized from last night because Josh destroyed me with them.
Was that on TTS or?
Yeah, it was
be
on
tough.
TTS.
It's gonna be tough.
But that the heavies are also really nice too, because you can kind of bait out or not bait out the smoke, because being able to shift your damage from one to another, like whichever one of them is going to smoke, so you're trying to like you like, and if you can hit one with, if you could get 6 damage through, maybe he won't smoke, or maybe he does and it's not enough now.
Or maybe he smokes the one that the DDAs are lined up on, but then
Yeah.
maybe you just get a little bit lucky and both, you know, 2 or 3 of the the Locust heavies get damage on the other one, and all of a sudden now that one's taking 12 wounds for, from 110 points,
We did do a practice like turn 1 shot after he brings his Dorn out, and the first I was like joking. I was like, what would happen if I shot you with a DDA? And of course I rolled 9 hits with a DDA into his Dorn, because the sustain. I was like, I probably will never have that happen again. But in that game, I do win. That game I do win, because that Dorn is dead. So the sustained can go crazy.
Is he running any indirect or no?
No, he wasn't running any indirect.
See, then that is the vulnerability of the Psychomancers, is they're going to be highly vulnerable to indirect. So it just depends on if we're seeing indirect in the meta or not.
I think if you are too, I think you just throw them up in reserves and you just wait for a turn, and you just come in and try and battle shock on the turn.
Yeah, because it's not like
they come in off the edge.
The -1 damage doesn't matter. Yeah. And I can still battle shock for like defensive strats purposes.
Yeah. To get that might even be better in that case if it was guard, like to be like, now you can't smoke. Like that actually could be pretty huge.
Yeah. Especially with a double tap.
Yeah.
But it's guard vehicles are they leadership 6 as well?
I think they're 7.
I think they're 7, maybe? Yeah. Unless they give
them
a leadership order. Maybe go down to 6.
Yeah, but they wouldn't do that proactively.
There's 7.
Right, yeah.
Even the commander is 7, yes.
Well, unless in Grizzle Company, I don't know how the strat reads it, because at the end of any phase, right, they can do another order.
Yes. But they can't order battle shock.
Creed has weird things too.
Yeah.
I think
someone in the chat can drop it if they're a Grizzle player here.
But if they're using a stratagem just to give them +1 leadership against my Psychomancers, it's probably a win too.
Yeah, I mean for real though.
If it's at the end of the phase, your Psychomancer goes off at the start of the phase. So
yeah, so they could see you coming down at the end of movement. But like I said, I will happily let them spend a CP for that. I might just put my Psychomancers in 2 different spots, so one of them, one of them doesn't get it,
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like I said, I still really like my old list. I'm gonna play around with some stuff, but I still wouldn't mind trying to play a 2 Satan list at least once. Because the Deceiver just sounds. I like having my Nightbringer as a midboard bully, but I also like the idea of a Deceiver that can just find
he's just
the stealth, man.
Base.
The stealth is so good.
And the small base is a scam. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
it is just not. It's not okay.
Like, is there okay? Question: if I got rid of both Psychomancers, is there any way I could fit the Deceiver in and still keep Nekrosor?
Here, we'll do it live right now. So we're
right now. Let's do it. This is how we.
We're going live.
We're going live. We're going live.
If I drop Locust heavies, let's try and see if we can keep Nekrosor.
Dude, probably you have to keep Necrosor, man. We need that sus.
I don't like the idea of having Necrosor in a list just for the sustain.
No, I don't have him. I don't.
Well, but he's also there for the.
He's also there for heroic.
Yeah, because
I forget that he has sustained hits.
Shatter has a melee rush problem, right?
I know, like that's what I would use him for, is the heroic, right?
Yeah.
Like if you're running the Doomsday arcs, I feel like a lot of times I see people playing Star Shatter. They don't like. Ulysses was talking about wanting his Doomsday arcs alive till turn 4, right? So like a lot of people keep their Doomsday arcs back, and so like in reality, you're only going to get 2 with sustained, right? It's just one of those things where it's like
I'm not playing it sustained. It's the idea of if Illuminor is out on the objective turn 1, there are units in the game that can kill Illuminor, but it becomes much more difficult to kill Illuminor if Nekrosor can make a hero.
Yeah, I know. My point is where's the Doomsday arcs at?
They're with
They're
the Silent King
further-
with reroll ones.
With Silent
Yeah,
King
yeah,
in
so
the
then
back,
they're
yeah.
not getting sustained.
That's fine.
I don't care.
Okay.
I'm not trying to get sustained. He's
Yeah.
he's only there because he's another durable body that's similar to Luminor. Not quite as durable, obviously, but he's very similar in durability. But he also just he makes like a Blood Angel's JPI unit, right? They can kill a Luminor. Not if a Necrosor is near him.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
here's the thing too with both your guys' lists and why I've been considering Star Shadow. The play pattern of the list as well, for your list specifically, well, I guess it depends on if you're sending Race Center or if you're doing the combo of Xeris and Necrosor to the center, you're getting Xeris is gonna have sustained and sus, and the way you can spread it out, the king is probably going to be playing center as well, where you're essentially 6 inches away from a heroic.
Yeah,
but then you're also
comes
still
in center at some point. Yeah.
Yeah, but you're still going to be within 6 inches of the king behind a wall that's benefiting from sus and is going to have a 5-up Feel No Pain against mortals and psychic.
Yeah, he gives the king the Feel No Pain, and the king with the Feel No Pain and -1 damage all of a sudden becomes a fuck ass too.
Well,
Dude,
the entire army is built on a 4-up invul, and so the 4-up invul with a 5-up Philippine versus mortals is just really good too.
Yeah.
Like I hated when I lost the spider, and now granted I don't get the 6-up Philippine all the time, but the 5-up versus mortals, because like that's usually how King dies in Star Shatter with the -1 damage, is usually because mortals got through, and so like there's also that benefit. You know, I could lose the race. But like you said, we kind of talked about that. Like the race are good still.
Necrons needs like that one tanky unit, and I know Catans are like tanky, but like
the Silent King, we got Silent King, Catan, Xeris, and the King.
But like but they're not though, right? Like, and again, right? It's TTS, so take it with a grain of salt, right? But like I put one hammerhead into a Catan, and it evaporated, right? It's a hammerhead, right? It can happen. All I'm saying is that like the half damage moving to -1 damage is going to affect you the more games you play, especially against more talented players, right?
Yep.
Where it's like, and I get Illuminor is good too. That's why I'm saying I think
I missed the half damage. I mean the half damage. I feel right for me personally. My Nightbringer downgraded. Like in a weird way, because my Nightbringer, what he was doing before my Star Shadow list was working almost every game. So the extra speed and some of the extra like mobility and the damage was there because he wanted to play the role of a soak that would otherwise gone into the DDA or Silent Kings. He's worse for that. So technically my Nightbringer probably got worse, but I mean, I don't know. I'm going to probably enjoy the speed a little bit more. I don't have to put him too far forward maybe now, but I don't know. I think there's a way though, if I could have everything. Like, can we just play 2,400 points?
Could you imagine the Catans like this back when like 10th edition first started and the Nightbringer was like 255? I did want to mention because like I don't think, because we're talking about the new character Ammentar, right?
Yeah.
I think that he is at his best if he's either an Awaken where he can come back to life,
of course,
or there's a mechanic.
Yeah.
Well, because we had one Hypercrypt list, but we didn't talk about the best thing for Hyper, which is the 20 warriors.
I know. I was going to mention that like as a little caveat,
like an aside.
I have a Hyper list too that I'm playing around with, and the biggest thing about that is the warriors. But go ahead.
It blasts, dude.
So for chat who wants to run Hypercrypt, right? I'm going to give you guys a really cool unit to use if you haven't already done it, right? It's 20 Reapers, all right, with Plasmancer with a Risen Tyrant, and what you do is you come down and you get rerolls the hit at 5s and 6s lethal, right? So on average,
and sustain. Get the sustain too.
Haven't got there yet.
Oh,
so on average, you deal out 22 to however many lethal wounds, right?
And
so
you got to run the king, so reroll 1's a hit and wound too.
Yeah.
Well, no. So with this, the Arisen Tyrant gets 4 rerolls to hit.
Yeah, but what about the wound?
Reroll 1's a wound.
Yeah, but like, okay, so no. So
like 1 DDA or 2? 1 DDA or 2?
Use the Reaper brick. You're not going to be near the Silent King because normally you're going 6 inches next to something that you're going to fry. Okay, and then when I'm going to get to it. So you come down 6 inches. You bring the monolith down as well. All right, the monolith shoots crap as well, right? But with the monolith, you're going to teleport, and this can happen turn 1 because you're going to pick up the Plasmancer brick. You're going to pick up the monolith. You probably pick up the Deceiver, right? If it's my Hypercrypt list, right? I'm going to deep strike the Deceiver on my expansion, and I'm going to say, hey, good luck trying to steal my expansion objective. And then I'm going to bring down my monolith. The new nerf to the monolith is that you can't bring things on the board unless they have deep strike, right? So Ammentar has deep strike. So you teleport him to the monolith, 6-inch deep strike the warrior brick. The warriors are going to have those 40 shots and everything.
Ammentar has deep strike?
Yeah, he has deep strike, dude.
Oh yeah, baby.
I did not even see that. Holy crap.
Yes, that's why this is my Hypercrypt. Sorry, I know we only get one list, Colin, but this is my Hypercrypt. This is what I was.
I get where this is hard.
So the 20 warriors comes down. You're looking at about 22 wounds of lethal, rerolling everything as well, right? And like, let's say you're going into a Rogel Dorn, right? You're doing 22 wounds at lethal. Then the best part is that because of Ammentar, you're also getting 5s and 6s stained, right? So rerolling everything, you're just fishing for all those 5s and 6s. You're getting about 22 lethals with 22 sustained. I don't know of a unit that you don't kill or at least like crumble bad, right? If you do this into another Catan, if you go the mirror matchup, this will automatically kill Catan. There's no doubts about it. You're getting about 30 to 40 wounds at AP -1 to AP -2 if you have a Luminor nearby as well, if you want to run a Luminor in this list as well. But more importantly, if you happen to leave it with like 1 wound, well, you also have the Plasmancer's Mortals, and then you also have the Plasmancer's Shots, which are also now sustained with rerolls.
And if they're nearby, the Plasmancer is AP -4 shooting, which is it's
funny. It's funny.
Yeah.
Yes. And then on their next turn, so you do it in a way where you kill like one big thing, and then your monolith is shooting like another big thing, right? Then what happens is you teleport as soon as they go to kill your warriors at all. You teleport it to your monolith, and you rinse and repeat. You just keep doing that turn after turn after turn. Points is kind of rough, but what I was gonna say is like when I was running the monolith list, I wasn't running immortals like Matt was. I think it was Matt, right? I was running 40 warriors, and I had a 20 warrior brick with Reapers, and I had a 20 warrior brick with Orokin, right? And so I would basically jail with Orokin, and I'd kill you with Reapers, right? So if I was going to run Hypercrypt, that's what my list would be. I would be doing that, and then I would take my Orokin brick, and that would be my 6-inch deep strike across the line and say, hey, are you going to kill the warriors in front of you that's jailing you, or are you going to kill the Reaper brick that just killed, your Catan? And normally they have to kill the Orokin brick because it's like, I can't move anywhere. And then you teleport that one back. So yeah, fun stuff.
Real quick, Rex. Yeah, I know Necrosor can't get loan op from a Luminor, but most terrain maps have a hidden place that's close enough to midboard that would be able to give Luminor would get the loan op from Necrosor. So that was my conversation. And then he'd be within the 3 inches of a Luminor, which also means he's within heroicing anything that wants to charge Luminor. Like I said, there's a couple maps that doesn't play out, but most of the maps have something at midboard where you can kind of hide a Necrosor pretty close.
Especially because the Luminor is like this big. So
yeah, he's got a giant base.
Still put him like on the edge of on board one, he can stand on the edge of tipping point, I think, and still be protected from a guy behind the wall.
And the other thing too is like that also helps in like denying like things like area denial and like just there's some other plays there that just help in that regard as well too. So
there's a lot of times too where depending on where you put the monolith at, if you put your warriors there, you can always be kind of far away from like the middle objective, like you were just saying, right? The middle objective.
Yeah.
And if they kill like 2 warriors or from the 4-up invuln unit, right? They kill them with a couple of guys. You teleport them 6 inches away from the monolith, and now boom, they're like, oh crap! I gave you extra 5 points primary, and I also lost like a bunch of my crap. Hypercrypt is still good. I think the Deceiver is really good in that detachment because of the fact that you get to, do some shenanigans with him, especially if like it can be turn 4, and they might leave that little crack in their home field, and then now all of a sudden they're like, oh well, boop.
I mean, if they're still screening their backfield on turn 4, either you're way ahead because they shouldn't be, or you're way behind because they still have too many guys left.
Yep. Unfortunately. I guess this will be like the point of the podcast here for the last like 10 minutes here, guys. If you guys have a question you want to drop it in here. Now is the time. We'll be here to answer them. We're here for a good time, not a super long time. I mean, look at Daniel over here. He can barely stay awake. He's just...
We were here for
I still have to get my Raven Guard together.
You guys don't understand. I just got done with a trip that started at Thursday at 9 a.m. and I barely got home a few hours ago. So
I do want everyone to understand.
Ulysses is the real MVP.
That, My bad. I do want everyone to know I'm a number one army is Necrons, right? However, like
He's practicing some other stuff
He just wanted advance and charge early, guys. It's fine.
no, I do team events a lot, and so it's hard for you to run team events if you're stagnant with. I mean, Kylan, you run Tyranids and other stuff too. You know, it's hard to.
The problem is that I run Necrons, so
yeah.
Daniel's like, hey, I want you to play with me, and I was like, well, I don't know how to do anything else. So
like Ulysses is running with me, and now I'm running Tau, and not 1,000.
You've been having fun with that Tau list, though. The crew spam.
It's so much fun.
Yeah,
it is.
It's like your warrior list. It's just a different.
Yeah. That's the other thing too. If I was gonna run the conclave, I would probably run 80 warriors. I don't think it would be good, but it would be nice to have that 80 warrior list again on the board, just to say, hey, here's like a bunch of lines of warriors. That's just like, I can give any of them 5-up invuln at any given time, and they all have armor contempt because of Illuminor.
Yeah, -1 to hit and 5 of invuln is pretty good.
Do we think Awaken lists are still going to be doing well compared to those new detachments along with Star Shatter?
Awaken might be the best.
I think Awaken's the best.
Yeah.
From a competitive standpoint, it might.
We hate to say it, but I think it's fairly.
I think the only thing that Awaken's going to run, the only scary part about Awaken is if you run into real battle shock issues, because I think the idea of if you can't bring your characters back to life, that's a problem.
It's terrifying. It's very scary.
Yeah, they battle shock your characters. You can't bring them back to life. But however, if you decide to go the no Catan route, right? It's kind of like with World Eaters, right? When people played World Eaters, every list had Angron, right? And then all of a sudden, people started running without Angron, and then everyone's like, "Oh, that's wild. Why would you do that?" Right? I think it's the same thing with Catans, right? Like right now, Catans are really good, and you would want them in your list, but you don't need them in your list. I think you can still be good without them, right?
I said this to Rhoda before you guys hopped on, that it's like sometimes in the meta, like the way to like do well is to zig when everyone zags.
Exactly.
And it's like, that's why maybe 40 warriors is like everyone. It's like that's cool that you guys have 12 las cannons. It's like. Right?
Like my Hammerhead did 11 damage to Kylan's Deceiver. Do you have any idea how funny it is when they do 11 damage to one warrior? Or I just make a 4-up invuln. It's just like, oh, you're nothing to me.
Yeah.
And then they said, does the update change Tau versus Necrons a lot? So again, I'll let you guys answer the next one. So like I play Space Marines, all right? And I literally messaged the chat. I went to an RTT last month, and my only loss was against Tau. And I remember messaging the chat, and I was like, man, Tau is really good. This sucks. And I'm not going to say names, but Steven said that Tau is ass. And like, oh, how, all right. When you don't have 4-up invulns across the board, AP5 Meltas will hurt you. Right?
Well, look at shot.
Yes. Now, the problem is, right, I think with the Catans, we go from being good against Tau like normally all the time to now if you play against Tau where it's like a bunch of crisis suits with Meltas, I truly think people are going to have an issue when they're running Catan. If you run 2 Catans, because they have like 9 crisis suits with Meltas, and then they have all the other crap with Meltas, and it's like it's way too much damage. Where you're not just getting
they can pull you down. Honestly, the breachers are scarier. I was finding the breachers can consistently put like 8 or 10 damage into a Catan. But yeah, the Sunforged are really, really good because they reroll their hits, they reroll their wounds, and they reroll their damage. They're freaking fire dragons.
Yes.
You also, if you like lean too hard into Catan and someone decided to bring
into Catan,
Warhost, for example, like Eldar goes, hey, how about we come back with our fire dragons? You're dead. Like you just like it just dies. So the Catan spam only works if no one shows up with a unit of fire dragons and Foigan, because they might kill 2 in one shot.
Just breachers and Tau.
Yeah, breachers.
There's a lot of things. Yeah, there's a lot of vulnerabilities.
Yeah. So
the questions here too.
I think that's all why we're gravitating back to like 1 and maybe 2 max. It's like, oh my god, run a billion, and then people are like, okay, we counter them, and then it's like, oh, it doesn't work anymore.
And I mean, Vitcher's the same way. I don't know. I feel like people start putting 4 damage.
We're not saying over the next 3 months when you go to your local GT, people aren't going to be playing Pantheon of Woe because you already know they are.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
if we're strictly talking top of the meta here, or top what we think is going to happen, it's going to be one,
I think a lot of top
maybe two.
players are gonna have a Satan answer.
Yeah.
And if your thought process is I'm bringing Satan, so I'm gonna win, those better players have a no, you're not. You know?
I bet you in the next 3-4 weeks we will have a GT winner. It might not be a big GT. It might be like 40 people, but I think someone will win a GT
for sure.
with Curse Legion or whatever.
Dude, we should do that. Bet which one's gonna be the first Necron detachment that wins a GT?
Ooh.
I think
And we'll say like a 32 man or above.
I mean, I would say Awaken, but Cursed is very interesting. Very interesting. That charge strat, it's a very
here's I think there's going to be enough people that are playing Pantheon. The POW is that there's going to be someone that just gets the right matchups.
Yeah.
And a smaller GT.
Alan, put a poll.
Poll.
People want a poll.
All right, let's get a poll. This will be our finale.
My bet
right
is
here.
actually Hypercrypt. I think Hypercrypt might be the one that does it.
I think that warrior brick is a risk for everybody.
Should we say
love
first
that
like
we're-
super major or first like GT?
I think super major would be a better bet because it's like
I mean, because we may not get a super
GTs
major
happen,
win.
dude. Like,
No.
like
We're going to get some GT wins. I think we're going to definitely get some GT
Yeah.
wins. We may not get a super major win.
like some random city in like Maine will have a GT with like 24 people. I'm sure like someone.
I mean, that's how
Well,
I win.
that's what I was
GTs.
saying, like 32. Yeah.
Someone's gonna. I do think that like people are gonna be building so hard for like the anti-vehicle, 3 damage, anti-Catan that if you have 20 to 40 warriors in your list, you're already giving yourself a slight advantage because there's not a lot of things that can kill it outright. And it's like no one in their right mind, unless they just like, I mean, the good players will know, like Art of War knows, right? The good players will know. But most people don't think that a Reaper brick with Plasmancer is going to come down and kill Angron in one, right? But it can happen. Or a Bloodthirster. Like,
No.
Yeah, I have a lot of games like, when I was playing the Warriors, like for instance, when I went to Adepticon with the Warriors, and I think I had like 2 or 3 games where I was where I like went in the game and I asked my opponent, I was like, hey, have you played against a Warrior brick before? And my opponent was like, yeah, I know what the Warriors do. And on turn 2, one of them I was playing against like Chaos Knights. My opponent said, so there was like no way I could have ever killed these, could I? And I was like, well, yeah, that's why I was like, I don't understand, what your plan was to try and attack them, And I was like, yeah, no, it just doesn't work. And one of the things that Noah's a Green Tide player, so he plays orcs, and he described his orcs once to me that he said the way orcs work is like boys are a liquid, so like you just throw them out there and you don't know where it's gonna flow to, but and warriors are even more of a liquid. Like warriors are like mercury or something. They skitter all over the place.
Don't let them get shot by 4 Dorns in the same.
I will say Green Tide is a stronger liquid. Like Green Tide will 100% win the match. There's nothing we can do.
Oh yeah. Green Tide runs over it. Yeah.
It's too many attacks, and we just don't have enough.
Well, the point of the Warriors is that the difference between the Warriors and like in the orcs is the Warriors keep reanimating into different places.
I like that Kylan's laughing about this. We're trying to answer questions here at the end of the thing. So let's move some questions, guys.
Sorry.
Thoughts on Plasmancer with Murder Mine on Locust to help activate the detachment rule rather than Locust Heavies. I think it's a really interesting play. I think it's getting slept on. I think Locust Destroyers with a Plasmancer, like, because you're going to be getting sustained and lethal rerolling.
Yeah. No, I don't think it's bad. Like, I don't think it's bad at all. I think the problem is like as soon as you attach the character, it's way different than having a 200-point DDA where if they don't kill it, you still have 100% of the output of that unit the next turn. Versus if they even do, get most of it down, you're shooting at less of an output that next turn. and it's more expensive. Like it's still with the enhancement, I still think it's like what, like a 240 point unit or something like that.
Something around that 240, 250. Yeah.
I mean,
Wait, are you talking like 6 locusts, or like just regular
Regular ones, yeah.
yeah.
Why
Well,
not just run them with the locust lord?
I've
think
looked
you
at
could do
that
that.
too, but like the brick is so big, and it's like,
Yeah, the brick
here's what I find. Here's what I find with that brick is a lot of times you want to strat reserve it in. I mean, I guess you could deploy it too, but it's very hard to hide.
It's more interesting, and if you can give it like a deep, like I thought about it in hyper with deep strike. You know,
But
I actually
then,
did play a little
like
bit,
what I find is like, because I played it a couple times. I remember when Star-Scythe first came out, and I got so annoyed with it because I'm like, yeah, the full hit rerolls is nice, but a lot of times the targets that it wants to go after are never the closest and on an objective, and so you never get.
Why don't you add a Plasmancer to it and then add a monolith to your list and just drop the monolith and pull them out of the monolith?
Yeah, we could, but we're talking specifically about Cursed Legion, and I'm not going to have that luxury.
I will.
Or why don't you drop?
say-
Hey! Wait! Time out. Hear me out. You bring in a Night Scythe.
Somebody was
Dude,
commenting
you could
on that
put them in a
today.
Night Scythe, or you could pull them through a monolith. Just
Now
bring
you
a
get
monolith.
now you get deep strike. Now they're another 145
Okay.
points because Night Strike.
They do suck through the monolith in Cursed Legion because they get infantry, dude.
Okay,
That's
hold
what
on,
I'm saying.
hold on,
I mean,
hold
like there's some weird stuff there.
Okay, hold on.
We're
hold
getting
on.
silly now.
Okay, yeah.
Getting silly,
You
it's
guys,
getting late.
this is after
It
hours.
is getting late.
We're almost
It's
2 hours
after
in,
hours.
so we're getting a little delirious. Okay, hold on. Can we stay on the Night Scythe just for a second? Because this is actually an interesting question. I think that came up earlier today. So, if a Plasmancer joins the Heavy Destroyers, he gets the infantry keyword.
Yes.
Yep.
Do you see
And it
where
becomes
this
an
is?
infantry unit.
Do you see where this is going?
You put them in a Night Scythe and you
I'm
bomb them
waiting-
on turn
I'm
1.
waiting to find out.
Hey, and you bomb them on turn 1, and then they go back into the Night Scythe.
So, even though the Locust Heavy Destroyers are mounted, they are an infantry unit.
Yes.
So they could go in the Night Scythe.
Absolutely.
And they could shoot. Go back into the Night Scythe.
Yeah.
Are you gonna pay the points
Oh.
for a Night Scythe?
I have
Yeah,
another.
it's only 100
Thank
points.
you, Catan.
You know something I just thought about right now too. Like in Star Shatter, if someone then shoots the Night Scythe, it gets to move and goes off the table.
Yeah, that's the thing. That was like the theory between
It
that
comes out
list.
of the Night Scythe, it shoots, you pick it back up, and then I don't
So
know.
you're telling
Yeah,
me, as of how it reads, you could maybe put 6 Locust Destroyers with
a
a
Plasmancer
Plasmancer in the Night Scythe.
and get a deep strike on turn 1 anywhere you want it, and that would give you, what's the math on that? Is it like 10 lethals, 10 sustain, plus like another 10 hits? So like 20 rolls plus 10 lethals. And then would you get extra strength on that? Would it become strength 7?
Yeah, they're strength 7. Strength 7.
Can you put it
That's
in
a good
hover
break point.
mode? Can the Night Scythe go in hover mode?
No.
I don't think so.
But it can't come down turn 1 though. It has its own rule for turn 1.
The guys can't come
It
out.
can't. What's
They
that?
can come out turn 1. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
they
its
come out turn
rule.
1. It's a normal transport.
No, because they come out. They come up in the reinforcement step of your turn,
Burst.
and so the reinforcement step is at the end of your movement phase. So it comes in. You can't disembark at the end of. You disembark during the movement phase. You don't disembark at the end of the.
But there's rules about transports coming in and dropping out their stuff,
Yeah.
like drop pods and everything else. That's
Yeah,
always
yeah,
been-
you
That might
can
be like
disembark.
their
You
own
can disembark your
specific
transport.
rule. What I'm saying is, like, when you bring in a tank from reserves, you can't disembark it because when you bring the tank
can.
in,
Yeah,
No,
you
you're not-
can. There's literally FAQs that specify like you
that
can't.
make no
charge
sense
when a
because
transport comes in.
reinforcements is at the end of the movement step.
I'm telling you, there's FAQs that say you're wrong. So
We'll find them.
I mean, it could
We'll
be
find 'em
wrong,
for you,
but it
Daniel.
goes against like their entire rules thing. Like,
yeah, because
Once
there's specifically like rules on too, like on transports that come in. Well, okay, I don't know. Yeah, I guess you have to look it up. I could be wrong. I guess on that one, but
Yeah, it'd
'cause,
be
like-
really weird if they wrote the Night Scythe rule to just come in on turn 1 and not deploy people.
well, I
would
think
actually deploy things. Because he can't start on the board. So that would be, yeah. Yeah, you still there's a rule about you still have to stay outside of 9, and you also can't charge if you come in from a transport.
What I hate
there's a
about
specific rule.
GW's like rule making is like they make a rule and then they try to like come up with new things to like counteract that rule, but like it's literally the end of the movement phase. It's same time.
No, a Starscrow, they're not too big. I used to run back in 9th. Used to do it with the Scorpion Destroyers all the time.
Oh, Pyro said it was recent.
Yeah.
Well, that's some
Stupid.
interesting tech, to say the least. I mean, it might be a little bit too
Whether
expensive.
it's good or not is a completely different question.
Yeah.
But it is
I think the biggest question mark is how to get some damage downfield without melee. Yeah. The king is interesting.
Yeah.
I do want to experiment with that a little bit.
We're talking about the Cursed Legion? Is that
the Cursed Legion? Cursed Legion, by the way, 40%. It wins the first super major.
It might. I wouldn't be surprised also because I feel like Cursed Legion has like that attraction factor that could get a lot of people, especially like, higher end players. It has really interesting tools.
No, it does. It has really good strats. I mean, like 4 of the 6 strats are like really good.
Hot fire, dude. Yeah.
And I think you want Imotech. I was just looking at you can just burn through CP so fast with that because you want to at least spend 1 a turn for advance and charge, at least 1 a turn for advanced or -1 to hit, and then that's not even including the reactive charge strat.
What if you just discard your first CP every game? Like, you just discard a card.
The problem is the charge strat's 2 CP.
Well, yeah, you'd have 2 CP if you go first.
Right.
So, and if you go second, you'd have 2 CP. So you just you could you might be able to get away with without him if you're just like hyper disciplined.
You could, I think.
Yeah. Which is like something that you also have to be with Awakened. Awakened, you have to be hyper disciplined with your CP because you have to know which characters are going to die. Because nothing sucks more than like re-rolling a save and do another fail and then be like, oh no, that was my last CP, and then you're like, oh shit.
It might be stupid, but I'd probably add like a Chronomancer to a unit of like boom boom cannon.
That's the other thought we were thinking. But it's also like if you look at a lot of the boards, like the Fire and Fade, like it sounds good on paper, but like in practice,
it's rough on mounted. Like if they were infantry, it'd be a story.
It's like the 5 inches. It's a lot of times. I feel like it's just not enough to get them back to safety, and then you're still kind of messed.
You could bring them in from reserves, right? Like it's something we could put in reserves, come in from the table edge, and then fire at something. And it could also be like the EEs.
The reserves never really work, though. That's like what Kylan was saying. It feels like it sometimes works, but you're never getting like the full rerolls. The best place for like 6 Locust Destroyers, I honestly think is Awakened with Veil.
The Veil, yeah. That's Veil or Hyper with the then you could actually have the deep.
Veil or Hyper.
I will say also what's really interesting about this with the King that I'm reading now, I thought it was also vehicles, but it's not. It's only Titanic. So he would also benefit from the detachment. So his sweep would now be strength 10.
Oh, that's actually pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah. Strength 10 with sustained.
Yeah.
And lethal.
And
lethal. He slapped, dude.
And reroll 1's a hit wound.
But like a Rogel, it actually hurts a Rogel Dorm really badly because like.
Yeah, because it's AP3 as well.
It's not gonna hurt, but like.
I don't think you're still. I mean, even with a tank shock, the King like lucks out hard. Maybe he pops a Dorn, but nah. There ain't
you shoot it.
I mean, if he shoots it, like if he shoots it,
it would take literally his entire. I mean, we're talking full buffs to kill. Dorns are what, 280, 240, 60?
But still, like,
I don't think people are normally running 4 though. Like, like Steven, that guy definitely.
That was a gunch, dude. I got gunched.
Like, I'm pretty certain he built for you. Yeah. I don't know if he was your buddy or whatever, but like
he is. He's one of my buddies.
He built for you because he knew what you were running. Like,
he's like, this is my answer. How did like
Regardless, gonna have like 2 Rogel Dorns. One of them is gonna be a tank commander, if not both of them. And then it's gonna be like a Torox with Kazakin, some Scions, and then like 2 20-man bricks.
He also fully admitted that there's no universe where he would run that in singles. Because in singles he won't get the list, the 4 Dorns. Because in singles he wouldn't be able to just play on because like one of his goals is to play on more open boards and stuff like that too. So in singles, you won't be able to play on the boards that you want all the time, and he wouldn't he had so many tanks, like he would just get jailed. Tomb Blades might have worked. Maybe Tomb Blades.
Tomb Blades might have.
Have you guys ever thought of Tomb Blades?
Pretty good, I heard. Pretty good.
For the chat doesn't know, I say something in chat. Steven says it's stupid, and then 6 months later, he's like, "Oh yeah."
No, Steven's like, "This is a great idea, and it's my idea."
Yeah.
Well, if you all stuck around this long, seriously appreciate you watching. We are all just as excited as you are for these new rules, these new units, and excited to see how everything pans out. And it looks, Awaken and Cursed Legion neck and neck, 38 to 40%. Star Shatter at 23. So who knows?
Star Shatter.
We'll see.
My vote counts as 2.
I like Star Shatter.
We'll see. Yeah, I guess your vote would count too. But hey, we know we love y'all, and we will see you next time. Have a good night, y'all.
Thanks. Bye.
Peace.
Boom. Look at that, man. Dude, we had like 98 concurrent viewers. Goddamn.